Greetings and welcome, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, to episode 403 of the Words About Games podcast, the weekly gamer podcast for Words About Games. I'm your host, Amy Kate Alexander, and I'm joined this week by Mr. Daffy Mooney.
Totally do, everyone. It's Friday. You know what that means. X-Men is done and dusted for an entire season. We're all done and dusted. But oh my god, it's video game day as well, and it's the most holiest of days where we get back to talking about video games and playing video games because the world hasn't ended yet, so we're all good.
It's teetering there. It's on the brink.
No more X-Men.
And we're also joined
probably
by Vits Patel.
What's good, gamers? How's everybody doing?
Yeah, you know, but I forgot that I need to get you get your X-Men out of your system before the show starts. And I've forgotten that twice in a row now. But luckily it's over now.
It is, but Star Trek Discovery's still going, and they had an amazing episode this week, so we got 2 weeks of that to come as well, and then we'll leave you alone.
No, I'm sure there'll be something else.
Oh, yeah, undoubtedly.
Life finds a way. We always
Sure does.
find a way.
Telling me there's a Jurassic Park TV show.
There is a new one. I really like Crank Camp Transition. This is a sequel to it. What's coming out at the end
Is
of the
this
month?
the
I'm
animated
like,
one
oh
on
my
Netflix,
God.
or is it a different one?
Yeah. No, an animated one. On Netflix. Yeah. They finished
They
the
had
sequel.
one. Is this? Sorry, it's cut across. Is this one called Chaos Theory, or is that something different?
Yeah. It's the sequel to Camp Courageous. Or whatever,
Right. Okay.
However you say it. It's the same characters.
Cretaceous,
And
yeah.
it's like just older and everything. And I'm just like, I'm there for it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all good for it. Somehow kids survived on the dinosaur island for 6 months without getting eaten.
Wait, was this Jurassic Park 3 or this latest one?
No, after Jurassic World. They got left there after Jurassic World. No one knew about this. They all just thought, the dinosaur poop.
Okay, real talk. If Jurassic World was a thing and it hadn't gone to shit yet, would you go, yes or no?
No,
Hell
I'll be
yeah.
able to afford it.
That's true as well.
Okay, yeah. Hypothetically, if you win a golden ticket, would you then go?
Yes. And I would release them all.
I'm not affiliated with that part of the statement, but yeah, I'd go. Yeah, of course I would.
There you go.
It's like, this isn't what I signed up for. I signed up for them for running free and wild.
They're like, no, Mr. B, the park is completely safe. Not anymore.
Not anymore, suckers! I saw the end of Fallen Kingdom. There was a big red button when they told them not to press it. They pressed it. So
I have so many issues with that film. The chief
terrible.
of which is the cowards didn't give the girl dinosaur powers. If they gave her dinosaur powers, this would have been the greatest movie of all time.
Facts.
They chickened out.
They did truly chicken out. There's no doubt about it. She needed at least Velociraptor speed, T-Rex jaw
or leaping
power.
ability, just leap
Yeah.
from one floor to the other.
Yeah, like just all of that, all mixed into one and just ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
How are you, Amy?
I'm good, thanks. I hit my limit with Jurassic Park when in the first of the new ones.
Jurassic World.
Yeah.
That's fair.
When she's running away in the high heels and the T-Rex, and then the T-Rex is a good guy now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, you know what? I'm done. It was a lot like when I watched Rise of Skywalker. Like, I've watched that film all the way through in the cinema, and I came out and I was like, you know what? I think I'm done with Star Wars now.
That's fair.
That's fair. No doubt about it. I don't unabashedly don't deny I love Jurassic World. It's the cheesiest popcorn flick ever, and it's a dinosaur team ups with another dinosaur to fight a bigger dinosaur, and I was just all for it. I don't care if it's the last 5 minutes of the movie. I was all for it. I was like, yes, this is what I paid my money for. Yes, is it the last 5 fucking minutes? But I don't care. Oh, the fuck! I made $1 billion off that 5 minutes.
Damn.
So it's all good.
How's everybody doing? How's the week been? How's the family?
It's been a week, but as Moody alluded to, we had X-Men and it was glorious. It was everything to all peoples, and I'm excited for where they go next. But yeah, next Wednesday we'll have a hole in my heart.
I know. There's nothing. This is the thing for me. Bad Batch is finished as well, which was just fucking amazing. I love that show. Now this is finished for. We know there's a season 2 coming. They've not announced when that's coming. It's already written in F, I think, because they already fired the guy who wrote it.
Yeah, so I saw him posting on socials saying like how hard the last couple of episodes to write was, and then other people saying he was fired from Disney for reasons they can't explain. I haven't looked into the specifics of what they did or allegedly did, that kind of thing, but yeah.
To my knowledge, it's not come out. People know, but like they aren't talking about it, and I think that a lot of them have signed a lot of like illegal shit and everything. So it's like it's basically
speaking of legal stuff. That's something we might get to in the podcast later on.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
not related to this.
Yeah, not related to this.
Yeah, not related to this. Yeah, no. But yeah, that's like it is a fantastic show. So
Moody, if you're looking for something to fill the time in on Wednesdays, you could try playing some of the games that you buy.
I don't know why you shouted shit at me there, or said shit at me.
I felt like
for no
it.
reason.
Especially while Moody's in his evil layer arc, his fire roaring behind him.
Excellent. I've been playing games that I've bought, so pipe down.
Well, no,
I've not been playing games, but I've been building games. So hopefully, when we get done with that, we'll have time for games. Although Saturday's taken up because we're going back to Southall for more Indian wedding outfit shopping. So, yay!
Because the last time went so well.
It did, but this time I'm helping to be emotional support human for one of my good friends. So,
okay, good.
It's going to be good fun.
You can like.
Well, it sounds terrible, Vince. I'm not gonna lie. Going to be most of the thought someone for while they buy clothes. I'll be like, no, I'm not doing this. Go away.
Sometimes you need an enabler there just to get you over the line when it comes to
Mooney's
should I get
a great
this? Should I get both of them? And you sometimes you need a yes person.
I've been shopping with Mooney. He's a great enabler. He just convinces you to buy everything, and then when you run out of money and you say you can't afford something, he just buys it for you.
There you go.
That's where Isabel came from.
Yeah.
And was it one of the lights as well?
PlayStation 1, wasn't it?
I think it was the Xbox one. Are you sure yeah, here, have an Xbox Lite. I was like, all right, cool. I'm not going to say no.
Yeah, because you already had the other two, didn't you? So I was just like, hey, there you go, complete the collection.
Yeah.
And whatnot. So I think it was like a delayed Christmas present or something, wasn't it?
I don't remember that.
We were in game in Metro, and it was just like, boom.
You
were looking at it, you were humming and hawing, and you put it down, and I just grabbed it and went straight to the till and just put it and say, there you go. That's how it happens.
Is that still enabling? Is that still classed as enabling?
I think in a roundabout way, yes.
I enabled him to buy something for me.
I think you empowered him, is what you did.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when you come down in June.
Oh my god! What I need to do is I need to find a copy of a game in a CEX, and I need to look at it and I'm about it, and then put it down. And then walk away. Like a copy of Silent Hill, and then just walk away. But like,
exactly. You see some other kid reaching for it, you go around to tackle them. No, leave it on the shelf.
That happened when we were there, wasn't it? Because they had that big basket full of plushies, and that kid started like. Remember that kid was like taking them out.
We just went like that because he was diving in for a toy he wanted. It was at the bottom, and he was just like, like that.
And I just started
and everyone
helping.
was just like, what the fuck? And my parents were just right there next to him, and they're just like, he's a free bird. Why just let him go? I was like, what the fuck, dude?
I did buy an old game.
It's like a giant pillow fight between one person.
I did buy an old game today. I bought this.
Nice.
Not for the game.
For audio listeners, Amy's holding a copy of the original Mass Effect.
Not for the game. In fact, I almost didn't get it because apparently they were like, "Oh, we'll have to run the game through the disc cleaner because it's got some scratches on it." And I was like, I mean, yeah, sure, go for it, but don't worry about it because I only actually bought this because this copy has the bonus content disc. And the bonus content disc has like behind the scenes documentaries. That was what I was actually after.
Ah.
It's also got a manual, which is fun. Tells you how to play the game.
YouTube, right?
And many lies about the Mako and how it handles properly.
That's the bonus thing's got to be on YouTube, right?
Probably, but I've got the disc. But I'm worried though because the bonus disc is an Xbox disc, and I know it's a DVD. But my DVD player is a PlayStation. I'm worried if I put this in the PlayStation is going to activate its self-destruct code.
I mean, there's only one way to find out.
Maybe I'll use the PS4.
Activate self-destruct system.
While
0, 1, destruct.
While I was there, I tripped and accidentally bought a bunch more films on DVD.
Nice.
Ooh.
Less than the price of Netflix, and I got like 6 films on a game.
Hell yeah.
You know how it be.
I
watched one of them
that sometimes.
I watched one of them. I watched Paranormal Activity, and I don't know if the viewing experience was enhanced or the opposite of enhanced by the fact that my neighbors had a child that was crying for 30 minutes straight. Well, it was spooky at first because like they did the Ouija board thing. I don't know if you've seen Paranormal Activity.
I have not, but carry on.
There's like I've seen with the Ouija board and like it starts doing shit on its own. And like the instant it started like moving, like crying. And I was like, what a weird sound effect to put in the film. Like there's no children involved in this film. And then like
the Ouija mix is pretty good.
the Ouija board scene stops and it was still going. I was like, hang on a minute, and then pause the film. That's not coming from the film. It was just sat there, the demon-y things with the clunks and the things moving, and it just and I was just sit there going, okay, this is what 4D cinema must be.
Oh, that's just normal cinema.
So if they try to recreate, they should. I mean, okay, yeah, I get it. Like I've been in a cinema showing before where like kids and like people doing stuff, but like if someone took a baby to the cinema to see Paranormal Activity,
there's social services that need to be called.
Yeah.
Well, no, for me it was when I went to go and see the live action Lion King, the last Lion King movie that came out. And I was sat in front of a mother and their daughter. The daughter, for me, yeah, it's a PG film. It's no problem. But the daughter, I could see she's 3. This is going to be loud.
Yeah,
like really loud, and it's going to startle the shit out of them. They were in the film for about 30 minutes.
Yeah, my other observation would be children who typically are 3 can't sit down for more than 6 minutes before they need to get up and run around. But are you excited for the Mufasa?
Mufasa. I'm intrigued by it because like it's pretty much just a whole new brand new story and everything like that, which was the biggest negative I think for everyone. Going from when I was doing my podcast, what everyone was saying about it, it's just the same movie. That's what they were doing anyway. So I was just like, that's what I don't understand. I never understood that argument.
What was your expectation? Yeah.
Like Beauty and the Beast was the same movie. Cinderella was the same movie. Jungle Book was the same movie, and that was applauded for what it did and everything. And I'm just like, I didn't understand the argument and everything, but that's the tit for tat. This is a brand new story, so I am a little bit intrigued by it. I won't lie, every time I hear the opening, I always go, you got me.
You got me again. You sons of bitches.
Yeah, I love it. Lion King's my favorite animated movie of all time. I adore that movie. And yeah, so it's like I'm there. I know I'm going to be there. They've got an incredible cast, just like they did with the original. So
a lot of them are coming back, which is interesting because this is a prequel. So
it's a prequel sequel. It's kind of been described as how Godfather Part 2 was, because that's like a prequel and a sequel.
Okay.
Because it tells the story of the father from I can't remember his name's character, the Marlon Brando's character in the first film, who's getting played by Robert De Niro, I believe, in half of the movie, and then the rest of it is with Al Pacino and his family and everything. The sequel, it's kind of like that and everything, I believe. So I think it's kind of like that. So I think it seems like it's going to be half a new story, half the sequel of Simba's Pride.
Okay, yeah.
Because Kiara's in it, his daughter.
Yes.
And everything, and it's going to be voiced by Beyonce's daughter, apparently. I'm just like, all right, it's all right, I guess. Didn't bother me that, but
Keep it in the family, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, keep it in the family. Why the hell not? So I'm intrigued. I am very much intrigued. I think it's funny that Amy's just completely checked out.
Pretty much, yeah. After Vitz's comment about kids, I text Phil saying, "Hey, random question: how long can your kids sit still for?" And then I saw his previous messages, which were, "Hey, look, Lord, like, he sent me like 4 like news stories, like film news stories, back to back to back to back, and the last one was, this one's not for me, but I know you're into this stuff," and it was like, new Lord of the Rings film, and I saw my reply, and it just says in all caps, "It's okay for things to end."
It sure is. We do not need the Hunt for Gollum or whatever it's going to be called.
The question is this the sequel to the Gollum game, or
If only.
that's the question?
No, it's the bits that you didn't need to see to enjoy the masterpiece that is the Fellowship of the Ring.
That's true.
Uh-huh.
That's my problem.
Do they bring Sexy Shelob back in from the War of Mordor?
Maybe. I mean, she was technically in that bit of the film that you didn't have to see, I guess. In the appendixes, because now we're adapting appendices. It's kind of my problem with like all of these expansions to the things. It's like, you could tell a new Lord of the Rings story, and that would, I'd be interested to see what that is. But like telling the part of the story that even Tolkien didn't put in the novel, like he put it in an appendix. It's like, I don't need to see this to enjoy the film. I don't think it's going to be that good. Like, they're just going to chase Gollum around, and I know how it ends because I know where Gollum ends up.
This is my issue with the Rings of Power. Like, here's season 2, and here's our first look at Sauron, and people are saying, "Oh no, he's hot." But okay, but we know where this character ends up. There's no stakes if we know exactly what's going to be the situation. But sadly, Hollywood would say that brand new ideas are a big risk, and that they can only bank on known IP and the rest of it. And
definitely.
We need to extort them for all the monies that they've got inside of them.
Exactly.
The thing is about that, like the box office has been very weak this year. So
I wonder why.
The only handful of hits have been Dune Part 2.
Yep.
I think Godzilla Kong. So there's not really been many big hits out this year right now. So
it's like looking into gaming's immediate future.
Like, I get where everyone comes from, like where you guys are coming from, like say no new ideas and everything like that.
It doesn't have to be new ideas. It doesn't have to be new ideas. It just doesn't need to be like the thing Vitz was talking about a few weeks ago about that Ferris Bueller thing. Where it's like, hey, remember these 2 characters that drove off in a car? It's like, we're going to make a series about them. Like, why?
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I get that. So I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by some films. There's some great looking films that are coming out this year. So, but it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be a quiet year because of the strikes of last year. So
yeah, probably. Yeah. I look forward to buying the whatever cool films come out 10 years from now on DVD. It's my new strategy. Phil texts back.
Did you say my children moved around in the time it took me to write this message?
No, he's I don't know. I think he's thinking too hard about it. He's like, well, it depends on the situation, and I just went to the cinema. And he's like, well, weirdly, we went to a theater show yesterday, and then it's ... And I'm like, I just need a number.
It
did not went well.
So Jake sat for about
They had to leave the theater.
Jake sat for about 45 to 50 minutes. Another one sat for about an hour. So yeah.
Sorry, how old are these kids roughly?
I'm going to get in trouble because I don't know the answer to that.
One
of them was like 7-ish, one of them was like 4-ish, and one of them, was about this big when I first met them, and I think that was like a year ago. So, I don't know.
Fair enough.
He's a lot bigger now.
That's what tends to happen.
They do tend to do that.
Like, they get bigger, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like kids, like they're kids. I don't know anything about kids.
I don't know if that's a blessing or not.
I just text Phil whenever I got a kid question and kid related question. I just text Phil. Like, Phil, what are your kids doing in this specific situation?
Yeah,
And then he
does
answers.
does
He
it
never
involve
asks
Bluey?
for context. He never goes, "Why are you asking this question?" He
bless
always just
Phil.
answers, and I'm just like, "Cool." And he knows I'm probably doing some bullshit with you two.
Oh, bless him. He answers it either way.
Yeah, he just answers my questions. It's great. Speaking of questions, why do we do this?
So we can
Well,
learn to
dude,
pick
no.
ourselves up.
Do the opening banter because you wanted to
No,
have
not
the-
the opening banter. The opening banter
This
is
whole
fun.
thing.
You know, like you talk about your stupid movies that I don't care about, and I just sit here and stare at my laptop and I tell some weird story that you don't care about for what happened this week because I have one weird story per week at least. And then why do we do this next part where we're like, hey,
Where we talk about the video games.
Video games suck, right? Everything's awful. It's, you know, a good visual metaphor behind movie.
For audio listeners, there's a roaring fire on Rudy's TV.
He's got that YouTube 4K fireplace video playing, man. If you leave
yeah.
YouTube idle for too long on a console, it goes through like all these videos you can put on, and one of them is literally, I think it's that video. I'm pretty sure.
like 12 hours long, so it should be okay. It should last the entire episode.
Imagine if
Oh, we didn't tell you this is the marathon edition of Words About Games. Strapping everybody.
Oh yeah, to give you my Animal Well review, I'm gonna show you my entire playthrough of Animal Well
There you go.
and commentate over it.
Someone completed that game. I saw what 7 minutes. I think I saw.
Yeah, it's like Gone Home.
Sure it's-
When you know where you're going and what you're doing, you probably could
Right.
complete complete. We'll talk about that, but you probably do the first thing and pretty quickly.
Is it like a any percent speed run? Is that kind of version of complete or?
Yeah, I imagine they're not even. I haven't seen it. I don't know if they're
Yeah,
using
okay.
any glitches or anything, but I'm mapping out where you actually need to go and what you need to do to hit the credits the first time, and it's probably pretty quick if you know where you're going.
Well, hopefully it'll appear on a future Awesome Games Done Quick.
Hopefully, I look forward to it. But yeah, it's like Gone Home when you walk up the stairs and you walk up the other stairs and you go on the thing, and it's like, well, you did it. You completed Gone Home. Congratulations.
Yeah, you skipped all the good.
You skipped the
good
entire
stuff.
game, but
Yeah.
you got the trophy, and that's what counts.
There you go.
Yeah, let's get on with it. We're going old school where I put my thing at the top that I want to talk about first before we talk about all the other stuff. It's an Animal Well review. I went into Animal Well after we finished this podcast. I played Animal Well and I was like, okay, just download it on my PlayStation. We've talked about it. I'm just gonna dip my toe in, just dip that toe and play half an hour.
Yeah.
And 2 hours later, I was like, I need to go to bed. I was like, I gotta stop. I can't, but I got to. And then the next day, I was like, and it was one of those where it was like, I'm gonna play a bit and then get stuck. And then when I get stuck, I'm just gonna be like, cool. I'm gonna do other
Walk
things.
away, do a lap, clear head.
Well, it's
Come
funny you say do a lap because I tried to stop playing this game multiple times across the Friday and the Saturday. I'd stop and I'd be like, cool, I'm going to go and do something else. And then 10 minutes later, I'd be sat back in front of my PlayStation. I'd be playing Animal Well again. And this went on for 2 days.
Sounds like a good time to me. That's so.
It's safe to say
was,
got
yeah.
its hooks in you.
A little bit, yeah. It's really good.
That's a really good sign of a good video game. That if it's hooking you like that, because when that happens, I think I can say for all of us, when that happens, it's like you're in for a good time.
It's
and
the
everything,
best.
so, yeah.
When you can't stop thinking about a game when you're not playing it, that's when you know you're in.
Yeah.
I think I was dreaming about it on the Friday night.
It's like I think this first started when people started dreaming of Tetraminos falling in their dreams, that kind of thing.
It's like I think my dreams were in 8-bit or whatever. The game has the scan lines, and I was like, I want to turn the scan lines off, and then I was like, turn them back on.
Yeah. So that thing that I asked you to do on PC, at least in windowed mode,
Oh, I know. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, when you shake, when you give the little window a shake, the environment in game moves with the rhythm of the window. I thought that was so clever. How they did that. It's completely, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's completely pointless, but it's just like the coolest thing that they managed to achieve this anyway.
I mean, that's one of the things that excited me and Moody about Animal Well when we were watching it. It was like the design of it, like how everything reacts to everything else. That was like the first thing that caught our attention about the game. But yeah, no, you sent me. I got a message of it, and I'd already seen the thing where you shake the window and all the stuff moves in the game. And he's like, "Hey, have you played it in window mode?" And I looked at my TV and I went, "If I ever figure out how to do that on my PlayStation, you'll be the first to know."
Amy, for those who might not know what Animal Well is, what's the top level pitch?
Animal Well is a Metroidvania at first, I guess. You've got a map, and you've got to get through the map, complete some stuff, do some things, and then like progress the game. And you do this by unlocking. You do this by finding stuff, like in this case, tools. That you can use for a variety of different things, and then like the more tools you get, the more places you can go. That lets you get further, and then you uncover a bunch of the map, do the things. The thing about Animal Well is it's like you should know nothing about this game going into it, or as very little.
You should go in blind. Okay, yeah.
You should go in as blind as possible. Like the game, when you start it, you don't even know what you're doing. It tells you to press circle to wake up, and you press circle, and then it tells you press X to jump, and then you jump, and then it's like, cool, go have fun. That's it.
Awesome.
There's not even like an objective. So you run off, and it's just like, where am I going? What am I doing? And that's the first. That was my first 7 hours. Was like this really awesome Metroidvania, and then the credits rolled, and then the credits finished, and then the game was like, hey, look at this. And I went, oh, interesting. What does this do? And then the next 9 hours was spent unlocking the platinum. And I did look up 2 trophies that weren't related to, like, the 2 trophies that weren't really related to progress. Like, it wasn't like, hey, how do I find all of the eggs? Because you collect eggs in this game. Or how do I do this? It was just like, what the fuck does this trophy even mean? And then it's like, oh, it's just a stupid thing that you can do in the game. And I was like, all right, cool, I'll do that, I guess. But yeah, no. Animal Well is a game of layers. There are multiple layers. Because once you do the stuff that unlocks the platinum trophy, boom, you get the credits again. Do a whole thing. And then the credits finish. And then the game goes, hey, look at this. And then you go, you're fucking joking. And then in my thing, like when I finished the game and I was like, oh, there's something else to do now. There's a third layer to this puzzle. I looked at it now and look, I barely, with my brain power, managed to handle the second layer of this puzzle. And I know what you're referring to, game.
That's,
I'm out.
Yeah, that's something else.
This is enough for me. I'm going to enjoy following along on Reddit and seeing everybody figure this thing out, and like do this. And I'm sure at the end of that, there'll be something else in this game, like to go and do. It's so good, and from the way it's designed, like the way the tools are designed, the way the tools work, and what they do, and how you find out what they do. It's just incredible. It's one of the best experiences I've had all year. Easily. Like when I'm talking about Animal Well, like I know it's like too early to tell and stuff, but like I don't necessarily think I'm just going, Animal Well is one of the best games of 2024. I'm like, Animal Well is probably one of my favorite games.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
All right, and I'm happy to talk about why, because I know he doesn't give a shit about spoilers and all that stuff. And I mean, you play like 2 games a year, so it's fine.
This is true. I'm at 1 game I played for 2024 so far.
The first part of this review that we're doing right now is me just saying, go fucking play this game. If you like Metroidvanias, or you like puzzles. And I don't just mean like puzzle games where it's like, guess what the developer was thinking. I mean like, like the whole game is a puzzle box. Like that's what I was saying. It starts out as a Metroidvania.
Combat?
There is no combat. There is zero combat.
Okay, yeah.
Not at all. You have to run away from stuff a couple of times, or like avoid stuff. But like you don't fight. There's no fighting. It's pure exploration. Like even when it gets into its puzzle box stage, it's exploration. The puzzle box is how do I get to this thing, or wait, I just saw this thing. What does it do? Like what does it mean? I'm like gonna figure that out. So that's where I'm at. Like this part was the recommendation. Go buy Animal Well, support an amazing game. Go play it, especially if you like Metroidvanias, especially if you like exploration-based puzzles. Okay, now we can talk freely. Everybody who hasn't done that, get the fuck out of here.
Animal Well is available on Nintendo Switch, on your PS5, and on Steam, and for PC.
It is, yeah. Steam, PC, PlayStation 5, which is where I played it. A Nintendo Switch. So this game fucking slaps. Like, so hard. Like
we couldn't tell, just so you know that.
No, like so you get tools, right? And like there's like firecrackers, the frisbee, which is one that was in a lot of the pre-release gameplay stuff. And it's like every time you think you have one of these tools figured out, you like, oh, I know what this does. I know what this is for. There's like there's like 3 or 4 different uses for everything that you have. And the game doesn't tell you what things do, so you got to figure it out by yourself. Usually by accident. So there's just one moment where I was like using the frisbee, and you can throw it at switches. And like if the lever's pointing and it hits the lever, and it'll knock the lever. And there was a switch in a corner, and there was a big spike. And I was like, I needed to hit that switch up there. Well, I'll just like there's a spike. I'll just throw. I jumped up to throw the frisbee, and it hit the spike, and the spike broke. And my mind was like, hold on a minute. Let me just test this again on another spike. And I threw it at another spike, and the spike broke. And I was like, I've been able to break spikes this entire time.
This whole time, yeah.
And I didn't even fucking know. Because I'd gotten to points where I was like, I have to jump up there, but every platform has a spike on it. I don't know how to do this. Maybe it's for a tool later. And then when I learned that, I was like, oh shit, I can just fucking throw the frisbee. And that's the level of discovery, because so on top of all that, the frisbee, there's this another part where you come to, there's this big body of water stretches off past the screen. So clearly onto the next screen, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll get like something where I can like go across the water or something. And it's a save point. You save by like manually going to telephones. And I went there because it was a close save point where I was exploring around, and I saved, and I looked at it, and I went, I've picked up a few new things at this point. But I still haven't got anything that I could really say I could use to get across this water. And this is where I'm talking about the whole, like, if you like things where it's like, what does this do? So I got the frisbee out, and I threw it and bounced it off the wall, and then I jumped on it.
Okay, yeah.
And my little dude started spinning across, and I was like, oh, fuck. This is sick.
This has opened up, like, so much.
Like, I love how the game rewards you for thinking like that constantly, where it's just like, you look at something and you think, wait, I should probably be, like, maybe I could do this, and then you do it, and you can, and it's amazing. You feel incredible. And then, like, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, the thing, like, you're over here now. And then there's, like, so many discoveries in this game where it's just like, oh, it's so good.
So a couple of questions that spawned from that for me, at least. So can you speak to if there's a sort of difficulty curve when it comes to the puzzles and how intricate they get, and how do you feel that's going to be off-putting to some people who are just going to get frustrated? So anecdotally, listen to the comments of one, Janet Garcia. She really enjoys the game, but boy, did she find it frustrating. Like, she's yelling at a TV, like, what do you want from me, video game? Because I think she was just hitting her head against a wall of a puzzle. And maybe it's one of these things where you do need to step away and think about it, fourth dimensionally and all the rest of it, and you come back to it. So,
like, I didn't play the game like this, but I feel like if you play the game alongside someone, like if someone else is playing it, not necessarily in like sitting together playing it, but if like you're playing it and someone else is playing it, I feel like that would be a really good experience to have, where it's just like, oh man, like I got to this room and I didn't know what to do, and then the other person can say, oh, did you try this? Because I used Reddit a couple of times to figure some stuff out when I was really stuck. Not to, and the cool thing about the Animal Wealth subreddit is they don't just go, oh yeah, just do this. Like it'll be like, oh, have you maybe thought about your bubble wand, or like have you tried going left, or like so like they'll give you like a really obtuse hint, and then you look at it and you go, okay. And like, let me just go back to this. Okay. Let me just like figure something out. Like and you figure stuff out by accident all the time, just by like, I jumped into a wall and it turns out there was a passageway. And it was because I didn't know what else to do. I was like, there must be a way to get through to the other side of this place. There has to be. And then it's just like, and I think one of the reasons I fell so much in love with Animal Well is because I gave myself a hard rule of, right, I'm not going to look up any walkthroughs. Like, I'm going to fucking play this game like it's 1990. And I'm on my PS1, and I ain't got no fucking gaming facts. And the strategy guide was too expensive, and I got to figure this shit out.
Nintendo hotline you can call.
And then like I treat Reddit as like my friend who'd already finished the game a couple of times. And it was just like, it was such a phenomenal experience to just like figure shit out for myself.
That's awesome. Are you choosing which animal you are, or do you have like
you're
a
a little
preset character and then?
I don't know.
Oh, blob. Okay.
I don't know. You're a blobby boy. I didn't really. You're like this big.
Okay.
I was like, maybe a dog. Maybe, I don't know. But the Animal Well there's just animals everywhere, and some of them are friendly, and some of them are helpful. Some of them are not so friendly. Some of them are really annoying. Some of them are scary. There was one, an ostrich, and like you've got to get past the ostrich, and there's these. Let's just say there's these tunnels, and you've got to go in them for some reason, and you go in them, and you're like, "Whew, I'm safe," and then its head like comes through like a snake slowly, and it's just like staring at you, and you're like pressed up against the wall, and it's like, and I'm just like, this is more terrifying than PT. What the fuck? Why is this happening?
Yeah, so I'm seeing that this is it's available at 10% off on Steam, and I imagine at other places. I think it's available potentially on like a PS Plus Extra or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's on PS Plus Extra. I just bought it. I was like, fuck it. It's 20 quid.
100%. Yeah, but that's awesome. So talk to me about the art style and the music in the game. Is it? I've seen like some screenshots and the bits where the window moves, and the pixel art itself looks beautiful.
Yeah,
I haven't had a chance to check out the score of the game.
It's got safe room music, which I've seen people compare to Resident Evil, and I was like, that's an apt analogy, because like when you hear the safe room music when you're exploring a Resident Evil, classic Resident Evil, it's just like, whew, okay, I can breathe, and then that's like kind of how it is with Animal, where it's like
playing.
It's like, oh my god, I can breathe. But like besides from that, there's not that much music. Like there's a lot of ambiance. There's a lot of like sound effects. Sound doesn't play a huge role in like the puzzles and stuff. It's just like it's got really good sound design. As you're exploring, like it's not creepy. It's weirdly soothing. I don't know if soothing's the right word. It's weirdly pretty chill. Like, apart from obviously like when like ghost dogs chasing you or whatever. But yeah, no, like from a sound perspective, there's not much. From a graphics perspective, I mean, it's great. I mean, you've seen the screenshots, you've seen it in motion, and like the design of the world, like the thing with the window moving is quite funny because like you can on PlayStation with the touchpad on the DualSense controller, if you like swish across it, like you just generate wind. And again, it's like the moving the window thing. It doesn't do anything. Like you can't use it in the game as far as I know. Like I'm sure like 6 layers down a year from now, it's going to be like a really super important mechanic.
That's how the speedruns are done.
That's how you solve the 6th layer of puzzles that Reddit uncovered. Like, but like for now, it's just like it's a cool thing. You can do a wind and it moves, blows all the stuff around and stuff. And that was pretty cool. But like like the way like the environment works and everything interacts with everything else, and like as far as the level of challenge goes, there's a bit of precision to the platforming. sometimes, which I suck at. Like I'm bad at 2D platformers, but like you just persevere because I'm like I'm gonna fucking get up there. I see you, gap in the wall.
You
I will
be
reach you.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, like that's the cool thing. Like the way it hides things, like it's really cool. Like it'll hide like paths with vines, and then it's like the wall, and then like you can see a vine, and then you think, "Wait, there's a break in the wall up there," and like it's one of those things where it's really well hidden until you know to look for it, and then you know to look for it, and then you're like looking around on you on the map and everything. But yeah, no, like the animals are really cool. Like it's got a really good graphic style. Like the map's a bit. I don't want to say it's like difficult to read or anything. It's like it's a bit challenging to look at the map because you can't zoom in. You can only zoom out, which I wasn't a fan of. And like if you turn the scan lines off, it's a little bit easier to see what everything is. Because like it's like classic Metroidvania style. It's like I don't know where to go. Bring up the map. Aha, there's like a 2-pixel gap in this room here, which means there must be like a way to get out of there. But yeah, like apart from that, like graphics great, tech great. Like the things that we were impressed by were the trailers with like how the light works and how the frisbee will only knock the levers if the lever's facing the right way, you know, like a proper physical object kind of thing. Like chef's kiss.
Hell yeah! So around about 7 to 8 hours to complete, and then another 9 to 10 for completionist run.
Yeah, like it's not a completionist run. Like I will say, I got the platinum, but there's way more to
the platinum
game.
Run. Yeah.
Like getting the platinum basically is like getting a true ending, I guess, or a secret ending, but it's also not really an ending. Like there's still things in the game. Like there's like one puzzle that the community is currently working on where it's like, I know this is the next big part of the game, the third layer, I guess. And I was like, well, there's a clock that I don't know what that does, and then there's a fucking there's a door up here that I never unlocked because I never found the key for it. And it's like I could jump back in and I could start looking around, but like I said, like getting that platinum pushed me to my limits of like how I solve like how well I can like solve the puzzles in this game. Where it was just like I feel like I would just be running around like enjoying the cool vibes of the game, but not actually getting anywhere.
Yeah. So having not played it, the vibes I'm getting is similar to that of Cocoon with the how deep the puzzles go in terms of how kind of existential you need to think about. Okay, well, I'm putting worlds within worlds within worlds, and then how do they'll interact with each other. So it's I'm not sure if this is the right term to use, but it's a high level of thinking that you need to essentially figure out how to manipulate the environment to bend to your will, that kind of thing. So this is definitely one that I'm going to try. I think it will speak to me, and like you said,
Sorry, I ruined so much of it for you.
No, that's it. You're fine. There's the good news is that there's communities out there that will help you if you're stuck without just saying, "Oh, you're stupid. It's clearly the X, Y, and Z, and you need to do this kind of thing." They'll just point you in the right direction, give you that nudge that you need, and send you on your merry way, kind of thing. So
yeah, it's like
the
thing with the puzzles and Cocoon. Like I get where you're coming from. It's more like that was more like how do I combine these orbs to get the right path. And I'm not saying it wasn't like really cleverly put together. It really was really cleverly put together. This is more like, what do my tools do? Or like, okay, so there's a thing there. What do I have on me? And how can I manipulate? How can I use one of these things to get up there? Maybe in a way that I haven't thought to use it before. I'd say it's close in terms of like the depth and the layers. It's really close to Tunic, where it was like you've got the game part where it's like get the fox to do the thing and beat the final boss, and then there's the next layer of puzzles where it's like, ooh, this manual that I'm building actually has a puzzle in it to like the next layer, which was like all to do with like the sound and the wind chimes and stuff. And it's just like that's the Animal Well experience, where it's like I feel like this time next year they'll still be like finding new stuff in the game.
Awesome.
Yes,
It
I
is
played
sound
about 30 minutes of this game, I would say, give or take. It's everything to what Amy's going off, like visually and sound effects and everything, are really, really well done. I am struggling with it on a part of like, is this something I want to play right now?
Sure.
Type of thing. Like I feel like what I was like talking about last week was like I'm playing a lot of old games right now and just having that comfort food type of thing.
It's a
But
vibe
I'm
check
thinking,
more than anything.
Yeah, I think it's a vibe check right now for me. But like, well done to this game, and I think well done to that one person who has created this game. It's just one developer. Guy's a fucking genius, absolute genius, and it's like the size of the game in like just gigabyte terms is
I know.
insane. I couldn't believe I was saying, wait, this game's already installed? What the fuck?
No, I know. Like I set it up on my
So
phone,
fast.
and then like I picked my
So
phone up like
small.
2 minutes later, and I was like, it's already installed. What the fuck? Like, yeah, no, it's like the deeper into the game you get, and the more like puzzles you start uncovering. It's like the map's only so big, and it doesn't get bigger. In fact, some AAA games could maybe take a lesson from this. It doesn't get bigger; it gets deeper. Like. You know, like you start running through areas again. It's like you go through a screen, you solve the puzzle on the screen, like the one that you can see, that gets you an egg or gets you through to the next room, and you go, cool, I've solved this screen. And it's like no. There's like 2 or 3 other puzzles on the screen that you never even saw because you didn't know you were looking out for them. So when you come back later, it's like, oh wait, I can do this other thing, and then you solve a second puzzle on the same screen, and that's how it gets deeper instead of getting bigger. It's great. It's so well designed.
Yeah, a lot of games these days just need really good automation. And he's like, optimized this game really well. Like, well done to him.
Yeah, it's similar to how you hear stories about the original Super Mario Brothers. How the file size of that is often smaller than a file of an image would be for that game if you were to Google it today, kind of thing. So yeah, I'm all for games being efficient with their spaces.
Oh yeah, well done. Yeah, I'm looking forward to properly getting into it and delving into it properly when I basically feel like having a go at it. Right now, it's just like
you've got to be in a very specific mood for it. It's like I said, it reminds me a lot of Tunic. And I know you'll remember this movie. Like I bounced the fuck off Tunic the first time I played it, and then I was like, it's not for me, whatever. And then like I came back to it later that year, and it was like, this is fucking amazing. What the fuck was I thinking?
I mean, Moody was right.
Moody was right, and now I've got to tell him.
I should never tell him this.
I've got to tell him he was right. Fuck. I hate it when that happens.
No, but yeah, I'm so happy to hear this. Like, it's so great to hear that, like, a game that you and me were just like, what the fuck was that? type of thing. Like, we were both like that, saying, what was that? And I can't remember what showcase was it.
I don't know. I'm sure it was like
Fest, or was it Xbox's?
I think it was.
Way,
I
feel like
the Day of the Devs.
Fest.
I feel like it was Day of the Devs. Whatever it was, we was I can specifically remember we were sat there on the couch, just kind of like half paying attention because we were bored.
Yeah.
And then like Animal Well like flicked onto the screen, and we both just were like,
yeah, exactly.
What was that?
Something switched on our brains. What was that? Go back now, Jeff Keighley. Now, you bastard. I don't want to talk to you. I want to look at this game.
I wonder if Google still works well enough that I can. Now that they've added all that AI stuff, Animal Well reveal trailer. Animal Well official announcement trailer.
But will it show you what was that?
No, sometimes they have it in the title, don't they?
No, I'll give you an AI rendition of what it thinks the trailer would be.
What did?
Also, really disappointing news about Donald Glover. He's working with Google I/O to make an AI short film, and it's kind of like those two don't mix in terms of. I didn't expect Donald Glover to be working in a space with AI. Those are two words we didn't see mixing, but I'm sure he's getting paid for it. So
never trust
get that back.
Never trust celebrities. They're not normal.
100%. I wouldn't name my listed this person or anything like that. And as you say, it's a completely dangerous game to. Only this week we've seen people who have played characters on shows which speak about inclusivity and doing things for for those who are in the right and being the voice for those who've been silent, and yet we've been continuously disappointed by that as well. So it was just one of these things where I had higher expectations for you, but this is where we're at.
Basically, I'm getting nowhere here. Unfortunately, Donkey's too powerful for the algorithm. Everything is just like, it was revealed that Video Game Donkey's brand new publishing label is. You remember that when the YouTuber Donkey was like, I'm going to publish games, and our first game is going to be Animal Well, and like a bunch of people were like really snobbish about it.
Yeah,
and I was just like, what the fuck? Let him publish a game. He knows about as much as the CEOs of companies that do it.
this is true. I'm not sure if
He's
the
laughing to the
initial.
bank right now.
He
so-
is. He's published one of the best
Yeah.
games of the year. Like, well played.
Yeah, I think I haven't got this messed up in my head, but there's 99% chance that I have, kind of thing. But I don't think they're the first kind of YouTuber influencer who've done that. So maybe Dr. Disrespect has done these toe into this one as well.
He's trying his
Yeah.
best.
He's trying.
So,
yeah.
and I think because of the scuttlebutt around them, and that kind of may have.
Don't film people in
Kind of-
bathrooms, Doc. You should know that.
Yeah,
You've got a doctorate.
this is true. You didn't need anyone to tell you that one, but yeah, it's one of these where that might have just salted the earth for anybody who tries to say, "Oh, I'm going to set up my own publishing studio," but good for them.
Sadly, he did need to be told not to film in the bathroom. Fucking idiot. But no, yeah, I'm so happy about this for Animal Well. Go out and play it, everybody. It's a great price out there. Okay, if you got PlayStation, you got PlayStation Plus. It's there for you,
pick
ready
it
to
up.
go. If you have the above essential
Extra,
premium tier,
yeah.
I think, isn't it?
I don't think it's on essential.
Extra, the one you always think is
I
essential.
have the highest tier, so premium. So is it what's the order? Is it essential, extra?
We have
Nailed
this
it.
conversation every time.
Is that the order? Is it?
Yes.
I thought it was extra, essential, premium.
No, essentially is bare bones. This is what you essentially
Actually,
need in
you'd
order to
think
play
it would
online.
be
and
with
all
those
that.
three words: essential, extra, and premium. You would think it would be that order, but it's not. It's the other way around. I don't
Really?
know.
So,
Yeah.
plus.
Essential is
Okay.
like the bare. Which one's the bare one? The first one.
Essential.
I'm
I
trying to
think.
find out. I'm trying to find out now.
Okay,
trying to
the
understand.
new
Extra
CEOs at
It's
PlayStation.
like
No. Yeah, no, Fitz is right. Essential, extra, premium.
But if there's any
because
like doubt or confusion, it's too complicated to begin with.
no, because think about it, right? It's like extra is like, hey, do you want some extras?
Extra.
Do you want a little
Yeah.
bit of? Do you want a little bit of extra? Essential is like, okay, here's everything you actually need. These are the essentials, and then premium is like, here's the other shit that we
Everything. Yeah.
have.
That's why.
That's why my brain. That's why my brain.
In my head,
translates.
Amy's
Yeah.
speaking complete sense there. But no, yeah, Fitz was right. Essential, extra, premium. That is weird. No wonder they've confused people with this whole thing.
And people
Premium
thought they were going to get
experience all the
confused by
benefits.
Xbox game consoles.
So this is what it is. So it's essential, monthly games, online multiplayer, and more. Extra, discover hundreds of games. Premium, experience all the benefits.
Benefits
tagline
is doing
for
a
it.
lot of heavy lifting there.
Yeah.
Look at all the classic games we're going to bring back. Yeah, all right, thanks. You did a great job. That's why I've never subscribed to Premium. But I can have a 2-hour trial for The Last of Us Part 2, a game I played 4 years ago.
Wow.
Whoa! 2 hours? Let me get my speed run out.
Simulate, should just buy it again.
No, I'm good. Yeah, Animal Well. Like, even if you even if you're not interested in like all that extra layer stuff, like it's still the first 7 hours ish, depending on how long it takes you to solve puzzles, it's still like a top tier Metroidvania.
Hell yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and then there's more to
Good
it
to
if
hear
you
that.
want. Yeah, cool. Let's do the cheeky little halftime. I
Yeah.
think Animal Well is going to take that long.
You're just that
Where's-
good.
It is just that good. The reason I wanted to put it at the top was because it's like, this isn't a normal game review. This might be Amy's Game of the Year review. Let's see what happens. I've got Crow Country to play next, and I'm hearing
Hell
really
yeah.
good things about that.
It looks amazing.
Yeah, does. Speaking of crows, I didn't set that. I promise I didn't set that
Do the
segue up.
segue.
It's time for Indie Game of the Week. This is the thing that we do every week where we talk about a cool looking, upcoming indie game. You can go down into the description of wherever you're choosing to get the podcast. There's a link to our Steam Curator page, which will have this game and all of our previous indie games of the week. So you can go and check all those out, see which ones have been released, see which ones are on sale, and wishlist all of them. There's like almost 100 games in there.
Hell yeah.
That's a lot of games. Well, this week's indie game of the week is called Crowsworn. Explore a dark world inhabited by men and monsters in this action-packed platformer. Lay waste to the monsters that stand in your way with a wide variety of stylish combat maneuvers as you attempt to unravel the truth behind the curse of...
Verandal?
Sure, let's go with that. I'm not going to read all of the game features, but I like the first one. Apparently, Crowsworn has spandex-tight controls. I mean,
the tightest controls.
Those are some tight controls, baby. So this is a Metroidvania. I thought I would pop this in here because I was going to be talking about a Metroidvania. Let's talk about another cool looking Metroidvania. But it's got a cool art style. Like looking at the screenshots, the trailer, very very nice animation. And yeah, hand drawn 2D traditional animation style.
Brilliant.
Looks like a cartoon. And looks fun. Looks fun. Crowsworn. Go wishlist it on Steam. There's a link directly to the Steam store page in the description. If you want to check out all of our indie games of the week, hit that Steam curation link that's also down there in the description. And yeah, it'll include this game and like 98 others, I think. I've lost count. I need to count because I want to get to 100. I'm going to be like, we've got 100 games!
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll do it. Cool. Crowsworn. Let's take a halftime break halfway through the show. What a concept. Not like last week. Good job. We don't have to talk about... We talked about Xbox for an hour and a half.
We sure did.
Well, it decided to be stupid.
I'm glad they've stopped that, so we don't have to talk about Xbox this week. Oh wait, what's that? What's that? They did an interview immediately after we were finished recording the podcast.
Mm-hmm. Did they have more rigs that they could step on? Because they sure found some.
Fuck me! When I finally listened to it, the first thing that came out of Sarah Bond's mouth, I was like, "Stop! Take the headphones off!" And I'm like, "I have to walk away from this." I'm not emotionally prepared to deal with this right now. In fact, I still don't know if I am, but we'll probably have to deal with it at some point. Let's go take a halftime break. See you in a second, everybody. And we're back.
Hey.
You can tell because when he's dancing, he's doing his dance.
Yep.
He's always in such a good mood until we start talking.
There you go.
Where do we want to go first, friends? I did my bit. Animal Well. I reviewed Animal Well.
Let's do the good, the meh, and the goddamn ugly of Square Enix.
Oh. Where are they?
Sure.
Yeah, there they are. Got a lot of news stories here this week. I didn't think there was that many until I started putting them all in the document.
Some of them posts would be quickly talked about. Like, it'd be like, oh, this was awesome, or this is this, or these are just little jabs that a certain studio closed 4 studios last week and opened a new one and whatnot. But yeah, I thought going this one would be. I've actually had thoughts about this one when it all started kicking off a couple of days ago.
So this is taken from Eurogamer. Square Enix, quote, aggressively pursuing, end quote, new multi-platform strategy after reports FF7 Rebirth underperformed on PlayStation. The company's new medium-term business plan was shared today alongside its financial report and follows news of both the review of its development system and the abandonment of £112 million of in-development projects. So we spoke about this last week, just in terms of them diversifying what they do and potentially taking out anything that's remotely creative and only going to work on real big bangers going forward.
This is how it works, right? Like it's like,
yeah,
it's, just make games that are good. Duh.
Yeah.
It's that easy, Square Enix. And Square Enix went, you know what?
Tweak the graphics some, make them pop. And that's all
Talk me
it
about
takes.
I've got some shit to say about graphics soon later.
But yeah, so this is a story to say not only are they going to focus on the titles that work well for them in terms of their tentpole titles and screw anything which tries anything new, they're also looking to move away from their platform exclusive model, which historically they've been doing with PlayStation. So say Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy 7, the remake trilogy, those to date have been exclusive to PlayStation. I think maybe remake has come out on PC, but I can't be sure of that. I know 16 is almost coming or being released on PC, so that'll be soon. But there's money being left on the table for those playing on Switch and potentially a Switch 2 kind of thing, or especially for the handful of people that have Xbox systems. So why not sell to them?
I'm sorry, I have to stop you there. Like, I'm sure if they tried to put Final Fantasy 16 on Nintendo Switch, it would look like Moody's TV.
Yes, it would set on fire, which is why I corrected myself and say like a Switch 2 cloud situation. But yeah, it'd be one of these where, of course, this makes sense. And I know history has told of stories of platform holders rolling up with the dump truck full of money and dropping them on the doorstep saying, exclusive, please. And they said, yes, we'll sign on the dotted line. But it's one of these where if the install base isn't there for an exclusive like Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, where, and props to Sony, like we're hearing that they've sold, circa 50 million units or 60 million units, sorry. And it's one of these where it's still a smaller pool than if it was also available on Xbox and PC. And I'm not saying it needs to be day and date. They can still find these deals where there's, a 12-month exclusive window or something like that. But they are leaving money on the table, and sadly, in a world where profits are king, then they need to start exploring these avenues. But I don't think, as we've spoken about a number of times, making games more accessible to more people to play is not a bad thing. Console wars are stupid, and I understand there's some benefits to console exclusivity in terms of only having to develop for one particular platform and whatever interests they may be. But with the two console manufacturers, speaking about Xbox and PlayStation here, with their broadly being PC-like architecture, it's less of a challenge than whether you're developing for the PS3 cell processor system versus whatever hell Xbox was doing back in the day. So it's one of these where I don't think it's as big as a stretch. I don't say it's not it's not a right click save as.
Yeah, right click save as dot Xbox.
Yeah, dot Xbox.
Dot PlayStation. That's how it works, right?
It's not
the file type.
It's not strictly one of these.
I remember sorry to go off on a tangent. It's just you saying
go
that
for it.
Reminded me about back when they were talking about backwards compatibility and how difficult it was, and I legitimately remember. I don't remember if it was just in a conversation or if it was literally on this podcast. Someone was just like, "It can't be that difficult. You just have to flick a couple of buttons." And I was like, "Jesus Christ!" Okay,
just move the sliders down, right? That's it.
Yeah. Well, it'll be easier because the new console's more powerful. Sure, okay, buddy. Whatever you say. Sorry, that just reminded me of that very funny.
No, it's a brilliant
comment I
anecdote.
literally heard.
But yeah, it makes sense for everybody all involved, and there's no reason why PlayStation doesn't lose anything by having its titles go to other platforms. If anything, they might make a bit of money in terms of if they've got an exclusive window for the next one kind of thing. If people on PC who are playing Remake, they can't wait for Rebirth to come around, they might decide to pick up or rent a PS5 in order to play this title, that kind of thing. And it's one of these where I don't think there are any losers when in situations like these.
When it comes to like games going everywhere, no, there's no loser whatsoever. But the PlayStation might feel they lose a little bit just because like they are into the exclusivity part right now and everything. Like they took Final Fantasy Remake and 16 and Rebirth off every other console, basically every other console, basically allowing it to go on PC and everything. But And this has obviously been massively changed because of like weak sales. Like 16 was weak sales, we heard, and Rebirth, which is like Final Fantasy 7 is basically their tentpole franchise out there. So
this is all in context of this is Square Enix saying the weak sales. So whether they're actually weak sales or if their forecasting was just astronomical, as they tend to have been.
Well, I mean, in this context, it doesn't matter. They're weak sales because that's what the sales targets were. I'm not saying they were good sales targets. They were probably bad sales targets, but
either way, but for like the worst thing, like I think this would be a completely different moot conversation for Square Enix if they did probably the smart thing, which probably would have delayed development probably for another year for both Final Fantasy 16 and Rebirth, if they put them on the PS4, because there's a massive install base there compared to what there is on PS5 right now. But either way, they've decided to do this, which again I still think is like overall, like I was saying for the Xbox thing. Fantastic games for everyone. Do it. Teaching everyone's a winner. Everyone and for that, for the most part. The sales. They probably do need to readjust their sales targets all the time. Like me and Amy have talked about on many times of like Guardians of the Galaxy. Like we were personally really enjoying that game, but it was a buggy mess which just held it back for us to be able to complete that game.
I think that was just one of those instances where we were both just really unlucky.
Well, either way, there's no doubt about it. I think we were unlucky. Like one of our friends, Foxes, like he played Alien Isolation, and I was saying, "Dude, this is awesome." He said he couldn't play it because it was a buggy mess on PC for himself, and I was like, "Oh, dude, what the hell?" So it's probably just one of those instances that we've just got a bad code or a bad version of the game and everything. And it's just it sucks. But it's just like one of those things and whatnot. Square Enix, I think, have been incredibly smart. I think readjusting to focus on temple things. I see where people get annoyed with this. For me, I'm not really that bothered because I love we don't really get anything new when it comes to from these type of developers anyway. It's still that same type of game, just a different IP, but it's the same type of gameplay, same type of world, same type of visuals and everything like that. That when I'm coming for something new, I'm going to the AA and indie space for that. Looks like what Amy's just been talking about with Animal Well and Indie Well, Animal Well. That's what I go for. So I have no real problem with it. I see where people do get annoyed with it and whatnot.
Well,
go on, Amy. Sorry,
I was going to say it's part of that, not just like what we were talking about last week when we talked about Xbox, with like where they closed the studios, and I was talking about Ghostwire Tokyo not being like the big huge success. And like as someone who played it and didn't enjoy it, I was still really looking forward to a sequel where they would build on. It's like the problem isn't necessarily that the AAA publishers are like not doing the new stuff. It's like when they do the new stuff, they expect it or demand it to sell as well as the current stuff, and it's never going to happen. And that's a shame because like you don't get Assassin's Creed 2 without Assassin's Creed 1 and Mass Effect 2 without Mass Effect 1, etc., etc.
I agree. There's no doubt about that. I think you are spot on there. No doubt about that. The ugly part of this is obviously with the firings they've done this week as well, which is obviously just a slap in the face as always when it comes to it. If I remember rightly, it says it's in America and in Europe.
US and EU, their IT department, their publishing department, and their indie label Square Enix Collective.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, brought you Power Wash Simulator.
It sure did.
Yeah. It sucks. I hate seeing that and everything like that. But when I heard this was all happening, I was thinking,
layoffs.
Yeah, we're gonna get layoffs in a minute. We know this is like we're all waiting for the Xbox to happen whenever they decide to do this, which they've already said they're gonna do. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, it sucks. But at the same time, if this like Square Enix is like one of those tentpole publishers out there that we've known for years, we grew up from in the 90s and everything like that, and they brought us some amazing games. And if this is something they need to do to restructure, I don't mean the firings part. I will never accept firings or anything like that. I thought I'd better reiterate that then. Never fire,
reiterate it for you. Don't worry.
Yeah, never fire at all. But if this restructuring helps them Like, I don't mind a company making money whatsoever. I really don't care. Like, just give me a great game, and if they do that, that's fantastic. Like, I know, like, Rebirth didn't really work for me. Going off by the end of what you guys were talking about, didn't really work for either of you.
Complicated.
But like remake, Amy, you loved, Vits, you loved.
With all my heart.
You love 16 bits and everything like that.
Yep.
And everyone, a lot of people love Rebirth, Vit 16, and everything. So they've got great games in them, and we know this. So I'm looking forward to seeing whatever their future really is. Just stop going on to this fucking crypto shit, you muppets, and releasing a thing every beginning of the year. My God, it's like an annual thing right now.
Yeah.
That's how I know it's New Year's Day.
Yeah. It's our New Year Day every time.
The one thing I do want to add is that hopefully this restructure gives them the foresight to spread out their tentpole titles a bit. Now, I know, with Kingdom Hearts 4, that's still allegedly a ways off.
That's
and
20
that kind
years
of thing,
away,
but
mate.
it's like we had Final Fantasy 16 last summer, and then we had Rebirth this winter, and we had Crisis Core Reunion, last year as well. It's one of these where, for me and for fans of Final Fantasy 7 or Final Fantasy in general, it's brilliant because you've got. You've got a lot of games and they're coming out at a fast clip. But then with the sheer volume of games that we're coming out, it's becoming less of a milestone event because it's happening every 6 months, that kind of thing.
Oh, right.
So
you didn't have to endure, like, remember when we had to endure 10 years without a Final Fantasy game? Like,
Yep.
Just be thankful that they still make them. That was a long decade. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. What 13? What was it? 13 release or 13 reverse or whatever
13
turned into 13,
versus,
15.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it was
Versus,
like
that's it. Versus.
15.
13 verses, yeah.
Boys Road Trip.
Yeah.
Interesting game.
But
With
no,
Cindy.
Oh my
I
god.
never touched it. I can't comment on it.
I didn't mean that necessarily disparagingly. Like, again, it's complicated.
Yeah.
It's a strange game, Final Fantasy 15. So 16
It sure is.
and 7. They're all strange games, and I respect. I respect them for it. I respect them for it. I really do.
Including Final Fantasy Orange's Strangers of Paradise. That one's especially strange.
I need y'all to throw some damn respect on Octopath Traveler too, though.
Yeah, this is true.
Please. That's such a good game. No one ever talks about it anymore.
Did that go multi-plat?
It was multi-plat
Or
when
was
it came out. It came out on PS5.
Mm-hmm.
PS5, PC, and Switch.
Interesting.
Yes. Great game.
Where would you like to go next, friends?
I'm not going to say
Let's go for vindication for Amy. Xbox's Sea of Thieves was the best-selling digital PS5 game in Europe last month.
Fuck y'all who try to convince me in 2018 that Sea of Thieves is boring. Oh, you can't even unlock anything. What's the point of playing this? And the point is fun, dickheads. Sea of Thieves was a good game. You gotta fight me. I was saying that in 2018, and now it's the best-selling digital PS5 game. It comes out on PS5. Turns out PS5 players, great taste in games. Sea of Thieves was too good for Xbox. Like, these Xbox players, they just didn't appreciate it. They didn't know what they had. They didn't know what fun game was. They were like, oh, it doesn't have battle passes. Oh, I don't have to grind for hours to unlock levels. Oh, no, I just have to play the game and have fun. Oh, I don't know what to do. PlayStation, thank you for vindicating me, defending this game for 6 years. Longer, really, because I was in the Insiders program, like, from the very beginning. Like, Sea of Thieves is a really great game. Play it. It's so much fun. I love it. I love playing it with Ryan. We always have a good laugh when we play it. It's great. And yeah, being in the Insiders program and also being a podcaster who reacts to E3s, super awkward.
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves comes on. Keith and Russ are there like, ooh, blah, 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 this. Ooh, it looks like this. Ooh, it looks like this. Ooh, the combat looks like this. Me.
have to stay strong. Exactly. For audio listeners, in the duration of that segment, Amy was Captain Raymond Holt doing the Vindication meme.
Yeah. It feels like Vindication a little bit. It really does. Like, you got bat for a game, and then it all works out 6 years later.
Mm-hmm.
Let's stick on the PlayStation hype as PlayStation has finally found their replacements for Jim Ryan as CEO.
Who would have thought that man was doing the work of two men? Oh, wait. No, he wasn't. So this is a story taken from GameDeveloper.com that PlayStation is appointing two CEOs to replace Jim Ryan, with PlayStation Studios Herman Hurst and Hideki Nyosho taking the joint role. So Herman Hurst, you may know, was leading up everything to do with Sony first-party studios, and will be doing something similar in their new role, whereas Nishino will be looking after most things on the hardware side. So looking at the taking over development of PlayStation 6 and where that's going, and their services and things, where Hurst will be focusing on their first parties delivering their games and doing what arguably people say Sony do best. And I think this can only be a good thing. Yeah, that's true. Leaking people's data. And all that good stuff.
I think of that really quickly. I was like, too many jokes. Quick, say something.
But we know Herman Hurst and their lineage coming from the head of Guerrilla Studios, and taking that team from developing Killzone to bringing Horizon to the forefront, and so on and so forth. And I think it's a really good look to have someone who's actively involved and knowledgeable of video games at the CEO of PlayStation, or at least one of them, kind of thing. And hopefully they do great things there, as I hope, like most people do. However, I hope that becoming CEOs don't further or make them become less the ability to have empathy for everybody else. That's true. Yeah.
Two CEOs, double the carnage.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we'll see. Who's the how do you say his name? It's
Hideki Nishino.
Hideki Nishino. I don't think we'll see him. All except when the PS6 gets revealed. Or you might see him for the PS5 Pro reveal and everything like that. Whenever they finally wanted to downstart.
Well, they're not just wheeling Mark Cerny out for that, like they normally.
No, I think he'll reveal it, but Mark Cerny's probably massively involved in the PS6. We know he is probably.
I love that man. Anyway, Never understand what he's talking about, but he says it so passionately.
I know. I still watch the PS4 reveal all the time. It's so much fun with him. The faces he does is amazing.
Where he's just talking about the PS5 one, where he's just talking about how the SSD technology, and he looks so happy, and I'm just like, you can't help but be like, yeah.
I have a theory as to why that is.
And then just Googling all the words he's saying.
They played Astrobot, and they heard the SSD song and the GPU song, and they knew what those words mean. And now we've had the chance to do that. Now we know the joy that he was experiencing.
Yeah, we get back to the main story. The Hermit. I love that he's been one of the ones who's been brought up throughout the gaming industry. He was the head of Guerrilla, then he became the head of PlayStation Studios, and now he's the CEO basically, and he's basically the head of all of them. He's Neil Druckmann's boss and everything. And I really think this is just really, and like what you said, David, I think is really spot on. It's he's a developer, he's a gamer, he's up there. Hopefully it won't be like fucking Phil Spencer.
I was about to invoke Phil Spencer then. He's a gamer, just like Phil Spencer.
But I think there's a difference. I think these guys, they'll still do what they're doing now. Just keep the fuck quiet for the most part. Phil Spencer, he doesn't know how to shut up. But either way, I love that part. I don't know the other gentleman whatsoever. I've never really heard of him or anything like that. But no, they obviously this is what they decided they want to do. They wanted to separate it into two roles. That's fine. That's their decision. I don't really give a flying hoot. As long as they've got someone competent, and if these two are the people who they believe is competent enough to be able to do that, and just properly set PlayStation back on. We had a little discussion on in the Discord offline. Jim Ryan royally screwed them over, putting them on the focus of live service games. We don't know when really their next new IPs coming really right now. What's not live service from one of the PlayStation family studios. So it's like, what the hell? Like it's criminal to think that we potentially might be wrong. Might not get a new game from Naughty Dog this generation that isn't a remake.
Yeah.
As disgusting for me personally, if that is true.
With that one, obviously, it's a I think a unique case because we know what Naughty Dog was working on, and it's the the multiplayer Last of Us title, which then allegedly the folks at Bungie put the kibosh on, and it's one of these where you're right in terms of we've had this we're allegedly halfway through the PlayStation 5 life cycle. And we've had, I would say, what is the first wave of games of everything that's come out the launch window and a few titles after that. And it's one of these where nobody knows what the rest of this year has been working on. And there's random, think pieces going around saying, oh, well, there might be a showcase or a state of play or something that happens this month, next month. And we'll get to see what first party has been working on. And obviously, there's been rumors of Ghost of Tsushima and the follow up to that. And it'll be one of these where, I just want to know that these titles are coming, and of course, these development cycles have been impacted by the ongoing pandemic and the various amounts of restructuring and things, and the kind of refocusing away from live service games when. The teams allegedly were told, well, you don't have to go chase this golden goose, which might not lay an egg for you and all the rest of it. But Concord is still coming out, so I'm sure we'll see some more layoffs of that. And whether we'll see Fair Play Games, it's a Jade Raymond game, so who knows? So it's one of these, but good for these two people, and I hope that the user base, which by all accounts is growing at a fast clip. They have some reasons, and they are plentiful to get a PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 5 Pro this holiday season.
Like, it's insane to me. Like, I didn't realize how many they've sold. Like, when they revealed, they got 60 million almost sold of PS5. But I think it's more astonishing of like how many PS4 people, like half the half right now, basically, which is.
Yeah, so
I was a little bit surprised by that.
Well, it also includes PS3 as well, because that's still online.
That's true.
So this is some additional commentary from Stephen Totillo about how over half of PlayStation players aren't on the current gen yet. So that's to say PlayStation 5. So earlier this week, I'm quoting here. So, quote, earlier this week, Sony made headlines for PS5 reaching 59 million units sold. Good number. Sony says PS5 is in the second half of its life cycle. Sony also said that PlayStation has 118 million monthly active users, half still on PS4. Half of PS players aren't on the current gen. Now, I think there's a lot of arguments why this might be the case. Obviously, we've alluded to some. Amy?
I think a lot of it has to do with something that I don't think we've necessarily talked or thought about when we've been talking about sort of like, PlayStation releasing games on PC, Xbox Go multi-platform. It's just like the problem that platform holders are having isn't wholly something to do with them. It's just like the biggest games in the world are Fortnite and Call of Duty Warzone and like all games that run perfectly well on a PS4. So like, if you don't give people that reason to jump into the PS5, and I'm sorry, most of their first party games also work on PS4.
They should do.
So like, if someone really enjoys playing Fortnite and plays it on their PS4, why are they going to spend 460 quid to play Fortnite?
100%. I completely agree with you. And as we spoke about in our offline Discord chat, in terms of we live in times of increasingly economic peril. It's one of these where disposable income isn't a regular resource to everyone, and it's a big ask to get them to spend $500, £500, whichever currency you happen to rock. And it's one of these where there aren't too many compelling reasons as to why we need to make this generational leap. And I know we're in a privileged position where we do have the new system, and we're benefiting or from the convenience that it brings of SSD load times and what have you. And it's you're right in what you're saying in terms of a few scant titles where they are PS5 exclusive. So your Final Fantasy Rebirth and things like that, and DLCs to God of War Ragnarok and Horizon Forbidden West.
But there's an element of PlayStation shooting themselves in the foot even with those games, because, and this applies to Xbox as well, but we're talking about PlayStation. So like, you know, like you're trying to make that shortfall up in like your revenue, right? Because you've only sold 59 million PlayStations, so you know you've got Horizon Forbidden West and, you know, other games like it on PS5, and it's like, well, oh shit, no one's buying the console to buy the game. We still need to make money in the short term. What do? We'll put them on PC. That while great, like we talked about, it's great that other games are coming to other platforms that people can play on. That further disincentivizes people who have PCs to then go, who might have otherwise gone, I need a console to play all these console games. Not anymore.
Yeah,
I don't need that console now because all these PS5 games are going to come to my PC, and an SSD. Super cheap, like that's
yes.
because that's the division between PS4 games and PS5 games for the most part. It's like you just need an SSD. SSDs aren't expensive for your PC. When I bought Baldur's Gate 3 last year for PC, one of the system requirements was an SSD. I didn't have an SSD big enough for it, and then I bought one because it turned out they were only like 30 quid. And I was like, oh fuck it, I might as well buy it. So yeah, I guess it's and I'm wondering if that was part of what drove this live service push by PlayStation, where it was just like, we need to get more people into our PS5 ecosystem. Well, they play a lot of live service games. If we release 12, one of them might hit. Seem to be the strategy. Yeah,
yeah, no doubt. Like what we spoke about last week when it came to the Xbox thing, like where I brought up the Lana Pieces video. Like she spoke about it, like the risk is not as big when it comes to live service games compared to a single player giant experience or just an 8-hour experience.
Yeah,
or something like that.
It's more like the upsides are so much bigger. Yeah,
the potential for it to make money is endless with the live service game, and that's a safer bet for investors at the moment. Even though they're not reading the tea leaves of what,
and we all know, like art thrives when no one takes risks.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's the best conditions to make art in. But yeah, no, I think there's a lot of things happening in terms of like console sales, that are impacting the number of consoles people are buying that have nothing to do with Xbox and PlayStation, and that I don't think there's anything they can do about unless they turn off PSN on the PS4. But then even then, I don't think that's just going to be like enrage people. And I don't think that's necessarily going to drive people to buy PS5s. And that's just going to drive people to other platforms.
Yeah.
To play Fortnite and whatever else, like Call of Duty was. And
like the big platforms where you don't need to pay for online. Yeah,
because like we've entered this point where it's like people are happy to play Call of Duty Warzone, and it's not like you need the newest version of Call of Duty every year to keep playing Call of Duty. It's like they did the thing that we always said we wanted them to do, where it's like it's an evergreen title. They just keep updating Warzone.
Yeah,
it's a platform on itself, and if I've got a console to play that, or like Destiny 2, which you play on PS4, it's like if I've already got a console to play that, do I want to buy another console to play other games, or should I just keep the one that I've got to play the games that I play?
Basically, yeah, like that's why I've been probably I am getting rid of my Xbox. So it's like,
what the hell do I need this thing for?
I've literally just, today, I was looking at my PC today and saying, okay, so wait, obviously I've been contemplating, do I get a new PC or do I maybe try and upgrade this? And I was like, okay, what do I need?
If you buy parts, I can install the parts for you when I come visit you.
Oh yes, don't worry, Amy. I'm thinking of getting a new graphics card when you come down.
Because I can put it in. I know how to do it.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, my graphics card, I've found out it's only it's a 2060. So I'm just like, oh wow, I'm like 2 generations behind.
That's still really good.
Holy shit! Really?
Yeah.
Wow, mine's 12 years old.
Yeah, mine's a 26. So I thought, so I had a look on, just curious today. I was like, wait, I can get the next version of the one I've got up, just up to 3060 for like 250.
Yeah, that's the one I'm looking at.
That's less than the Xbox.
The thing about graphics cards is, right? I know this is a whole separate topic. Well, in future, Amy, put any timestamp in. The thing about graphics cards is, because the headlines are always made by the the top end graphics cards, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, so they're like fucking $1,000, like 600 quid
Yeah.
to $1,000, let's say. So like you go, shit, PC gaming is expensive, man. But like you're saying, like if you buy that graphics card now, like £250 or 3060, you're probably set for a decade. Like as long as you don't want to play like, as long as you don't want to play like 4K 60 frames a second games, 10 like brand new games 10 years from now, like you're fine. Like my 970 still plays everything from like the PS4 generation and like some PS5 generation games. Like I played Baldur's Gate 3 on the damn thing.
Sure did.
I bought it in 2013.
360 pose would last me 5 years minimum, and by that time the 440, the 460 is probably the price of what I'm going to be getting the thing one. So I'll just move up to that one if I want 4K gaming.
The only reason I got stuck with my graphics card for so long was because when it was about time where I was like, I should upgrade this, everybody was mining Bitcoin. And we all know what happened to graphics cards when that happened.
Yeah, it's a weird one. So I built this PC about 3 years ago, and it's one of these where I bought it from a business based in the UK called Scan. And
I used to live near Scan. I used to literally go to Scan when I was in uni. Yeah.
I wish that I could, because it took them like 2 months longer to deliver my PC than they said it would, kind of thing. So I was originally told that with GPUs you'd have to upgrade them every 2 generations worth. So I happen to be on a 3060, and they say, okay, when the 50 series comes out, that's where you need to jump on board. I think that's absolute nonsense.
It's not
looking at.
Sorry, go on. I don't want to cut you off.
I was going to say, so looking at like the Steam data that's available of what like CPUs and GPUs people have, that I at the moment have only just reached what the average person on Steam uses, kind of thing. That means there's loads of people with like 4090s and the top end ones, but there's also people using 1080s, 1070s,
970s,
and 970s, absolutely, and they're getting along just fine. And it's one of these where you're not missing out a ton, and it's for sure if you want the extra speed and you want to run games in 4K, whatever the heck, uncapped FPS and all the rest of it. But my 3060 does 1440p, and it's absolutely fine. And obviously with the advent of things like DLSS and whatever AMD has on their side, FSR2 I want to say, and it's one of these where these cards have a longer shelf life than they ordinarily would have. So whilst by all means upgrade your graphics card so then Amy can potentially get your 3060 or your 2060 kind of thing, then go for it. But it's not as dire as one would have you believe.
Yeah, it's the thing about PC games, especially AAA PC games, is that like they're capped by the consoles. Like that's the thing. Like Nvidia can release a new graphics card every year, but they don't release a new console every year. So there's only so far that those PC specs will go up. So you only really need to consider upgrading your graphics card when the next console generation comes out and games that were designed to run on that console come out. Because again, like, getting AAA games in the beginnings will be multi-platform, PS4 to PS5.
Yes.
So, they'll still have PS4 specs. So really, like, you need to start looking at it every 2 generations. That's why I was nodding when you said 2 generations. I thought you were talking about consoles rather than like graphics cards generations. It's like every couple of generations, console generations, it's like, you probably think about upgrading your graphics card. If you bought one when the PS4 came out, when we're like midway through the PS6 life cycle, you'll probably start looking at your graphics card and it'll probably start showing its age a bit.
I 100% agree with you. So this was just the word on the streets, what they were saying when it came to PC gaming. Obviously, they were talking nonsense, and they were wearing either the Nvidia hat or the AMD hat in terms of please buy our GPUs and all the rest of it.
You gotta be careful with the word on the streets, man. Like there's
this is it. But
there's like a benchmark thing I used to like compare graphics cards. Sometimes, like when I was looking at buying a new one, and it's like they've got this like total bias against AMD cards, where it's like they'll show you the data, and the data will be like, oh, this AMD graphics card's actually pretty good, and then there's like a summary at the bottom, and the summary at the bottom is just like, well, AMD has paid shills on YouTube, so don't listen to any YouTube reviews. I'm just like, oh my god, all right, I see where this is going.
So I'm looking at like like just going off for the next big game, well, AAA game, which is obviously Hellblade, which is coming out. The minimum requirements say a GTX 1070 will run it fine.
Yeah.
Well, mine's a 1080 for God's sake, so or
20.
1060, the 2060, should I say?
2060, yeah.
I'm just like, mine will run that fine, but the recommended is like just a 3080. So I'm just like, well, that's not far from what I'm looking to upgrade to, which is a 3060. So I'm just like, I'll be good. I'm golden with what I have now.
Yeah, and you're
So,
looking
and
at when you're looking at Hellblade as well. You're looking at like a game that's going to be like pushing, you know what I mean, like pushing the specs. Like most games won't have graphics requirements like that high, and those recommended requirements are probably talking about 4K gaming as well.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I'll probably say I'm gonna upgrade and get a new graphics card. And I was looking to say, oh, Amy, you're coming down here. Get you to install it.
Bring a screwdriver.
I've already got stuff. I've actually got stuff.
Yeah, no, I can do it.
Are you set for your CPU, or will that? I mean, I know there's a long way before your CPU starts bottlenecking, but is that something you'll be looking to upgrade as well, or?
No idea.
Fair enough.
No idea. I haven't looked at it.
Just start with a graphics card, and then it's like a leap. I always do it like a leapfrog thing. It's like graphics card, and then CPU, and then graphics card, and
then a power supply at some point to power up the
power
GPUs and CPUs.
I always get
packing like 1,000 watts just for headroom.
I always get paranoid about power than wattage, so I always have like beefy power supplies that are way more powerful than I actually need. So I think I'm
just give you all the headroom in the world.
I love how this conversation just went into PC gaming somehow.
Because honestly, like PC gaming might be the way forward. If Xbox and PlayStation are both committed to bringing the games out on PC, that might be the way forward, man. Everything's going to come on that one platform, apart from Nintendo stuff, obviously.
Nintendo got Nintendo to the end of time.
Yeah,
and it works for them. So, crack on, do your thing. They also release more first-party games than Xbox and PlayStation combined, and they're usually of a better baseline quality. So,
yeah, well, there was
what they're doing is working.
There was that stat going around last week that Xbox have closed more studios than games have released.
Yeah, this year. Really bad, well, let's continue with a new studio that Sony have opened, apparently, from former
Deviation Games.
Deviation Games devs.
This one's a weird one. So again, this is from Eurogamer. So Deviation Games co-founder Jason Blundell also rumored to be part of this new studio. So Deviation Games, this was a studio that was set up, I believe, during the pandemic. There you go, in 2022, by ex-Treyarch and Call of Duty developers led by Jason Blundell and Dave Anthony. 18 months later, however, Blundell departed Deviation. The studio then laid off around 90 employees back in May 2023, citing a difficult situation that forced the layoffs. In March 2024, the studio was shuttered completely. So this was a studio that was set up, had a title in the works, and then decided, you know what? No, we're not going to do this. Now they're back with another studio,
baby.
I don't know how this works.
Sony money. They're back with Sony money. They had no one backing them, basically, and now they're back with Sony money.
I thought the original Deviation studio launch was part of an end state of play or whatever it was.
I think the game might have been revealed by them, but I don't. They might not have been games properly. They might not have been a PlayStation studio for that. Now this is a PlayStation studio. It sounds like it and everything. So, I have I have no problem. Studios create new studios. I'm all good for that and everything like that. No problem whatsoever. I do have a question on Sony. I'm saying, why close PlayStation London?
Yeah.
You could have just changed that all over and just done it all there and everything, or whatnot. But it sucks that they've closed that and everything. But it's also like, hey, they've created a new studio. And it's hopefully going to bring jobs in for everyone because there's like 1,000 people over. What is it? What's the number up to? Almost 10,000 people looking for a fucking job thanks to this industry. And now just to think that there's a new studio out there. Like we were talking, like we would laugh. We were like, "What the fuck with the Xbox just now?" Before we came back on from halftime, like Activision have created a new studio. that's like great, and it's just at the same time, it's like, really, guys,
Yeah.
really, after
Read the
closing
room.
for you rat bastards. But yeah, it's like, just read the tea leaves, you bastards. But yeah, like this is great, and it's like sad at the same time. It's like it's a weird thing for me.
But yeah,
I just downed a cup of water. It's getting really hot in this room.
it sure is.
Maybe it's because I'm staring at Moody's fireplace.
Sorry, turn it off.
No, it's fine. It's just like, whoo, it's getting hot in here.
For audio listeners and those in colder or indeed warmer climes. So at this time of the year, when the sun begins to set, it really warms up everybody's rooms. It just shines through the windows. So,
And our houses are designed to trap heat and keep locked in.
Yeah.
If they're designed correctly, anyway.
But for all those who say, well, you know, my country is 50 degrees all the time, I'm happy for you.
I'm not. Well, yeah. Can you take some of mine? Because I hate it.
Yeah.
Gonna move to
global
fucking
warming
Iceland.
was a thing. Why am I cooking in my house?
So it was the ocean that's heating up, not the fucking land. Ooh, why is it getting hotter in my house?
Shall we do one more to finish things off?
Oh, we can do way more than one more.
Well, let's go for it then. Where would you gonna go?
Xbox.
Sure.
Bigger one too.
So, yeah, 100%. So, as we went offline last week, Xbox President Sarah Bond decided to take an interview at Bloomberg's Tech Summit. And this was after, of course, they closed a number of Bethesda studios, so Arcane Austin, Tango Gameworks, Alpha Dog Games, and then they also rolled out a fourth studio as a support studio into some live service fun and games. So this was the interview itself went on for, I want to say like 17 minutes, and it was torture to watch. Sarah Bond has I don't know them as a person. I'm sure they're wonderful. They have been through so much media training, and training akin to what a politician would be, to give non-answers to every single question and to gaslight and to swerve the conversation back into something completely different. So a question might be posed to them about, why would you shut down Tango Gameworks when they produced a game which was critically acclaimed, award-winning, for every metric that Xbox leadership said was doing great numbers, and they couldn't be happier for the game. And somehow she managed to talk the conversation into how great was the Fallout TV show. My mind was blown that she was able to do that, and more power to her. Now, the internet being the internet, and they have decided to come after all of Sarah's protected characteristics as to why she's not a great fit for being president at Xbox. And it was a bad look all around. And a part of me wants to say, okay, so you've had this week where you've shut down all these studios. Was there no inkling that these were the kind of questions that you were going to get, or no one was going to ask about it?
So, from my understanding of what this thing that she attended was, having like watched the video, finally, like I tried watching it at first, and the first thing she said, I couldn't. I had to stop. So I did it again today, and watched the whole thing. But it was a tech conference that she was at, so it wasn't like a gaming thing, or it wasn't like a scheduled interview with Bloomberg about this specific thing. It was a tech conference where they were mostly talking about AI.
Yeah.
Which is great. Yeah. So I don't know. So I actually think that maybe they didn't expect to get bombarded with a lot of questions about this during this specific thing, because obviously it's a conference focused on something completely different. Obviously, like you know, we know better than that. They were definitely going to get bombarded with questions about this stuff. But I just want to set that context up.
I think that's completely fair. So Sarah went on and talked about everything but the actual issues that the
all
interview in
while she
question-
was sitting in front of a giant graph
Yep.
that showed that growth was like the Xbox grew like 50% or whatever it was last year.
Like,
Yeah.
the camera was just being a right twat to her when she was talking and everything. Because I've got it up. So Skillup brought this up on his video. Shout out to him for his amazing video and everything. And it's like he's just like it's there, and you can literally see 2020, boom, 2021, boom, 2022, a little bit down, 2023, a little bit down from that one. It's just the going back to
still
normal
enormous.
life and everything
Yeah,
like
but
that.
it's like the line is 0%. So this bar is still like way above that line. It's not like they lost.
You could add 2019, 2018, and 2017 on top of each other. It'll probably still be lower than 2023's line altogether. That's how bad that is, and it's just disgusting. Her whole answer's just typical corporate bollocks, politician bollocks, man.
Tech
like how you
bullshit.
said, Vince. She somehow turned it around to talk about the Fallout show. It's like, what the fuck? We're not here to talk about Fallout. Like,
so
I honestly think she didn't realize she was going to get asked questions because it's a.
I think she thought she was. I think she was there to answer questions about AI, and I think she thought that it was going to be the interview was going to be focused on AI and how they're bringing AI to Xbox platforms and stuff. I don't think she was expecting to have to answer questions about growth and game studios.
Yeah, it was interesting that this was the first public event that any of Xbox leadership took after all the public appearance, I should say, after doing that. And a side story that or related story, I should say, that we were sharing in the Discord is that the leadership at Microsoft, so this is outside of Xbox, obviously the parent company, is now doing something dubbed Operation Latitude.
Reportedly.
Yeah, reportedly.
Sorry.
That's a badass name. Where essentially
Operation Fuck Xbox fanboys everywhere.
It's one of these where obviously Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, and Matt Booty have been waxing lyrical about we're going to try and experiment, and we're going to take 4 games and we're going to bring them to other platforms. But don't you worry, our big titles are going to remain on Xbox, and they're going to be platform exclusives. So Microsoft have come out and said, nah, there's money to be had. Yeah, you spent what, 70 billion acquiring these, and you're making how much outside of what Activision was bringing to the table? And then they were looking at the numbers. Oh, Activision's bringing this much to the table, and they release on everything at the moment. Why aren't we doing that? And it might be completely allegedly, and it might be completely antithetical to the plan that Phil and the team have over there. But I think when the bigwigs at Microsoft tell you to do something, I don't think they have a choice but to jump and say how high.
They don't have a jump. They don't have a choice because Microsoft's the heads of their boss. They have no choice to it. If that's what they want them to do, they'll have no choice to do it. The biggest thing the biggest argument I've seen online and everything like that, what I just think is completely mute, is just like everyone's saying Call of Duty has to go in the Game Pass, it has to be day one. I was thinking,
it does.
If you want to make money from this game, from this thing, you do not put. For me, you don't put that day one.
But it's
in Game
not.
Pass.
It's not about what is the smartest decision or what is the decision that's gonna bring in more money. It has to go into Game Pass, otherwise the Game Pass experiment is over. Like
it's like experiment is already.
It's like what we talked about. Where it's like that stupid tweet that got sent, poll that got sent around, where it's like, should they stop doing day ones? It's like no, because like otherwise it's over, it's done. Pack it up. You might as well go home. You think you're going to get to 100 million from 30 million? You'll get to 10 million if you take those day one releases out.
Day one releases was the pillar that Game Pass was built on. In terms of, we're going to give you all of these games for a low price, and also we're going to bring Xbox first party titles day one on there, guaranteed. And you can't. It's like we were saying last week in terms of the genie's out the bottle if you try and take that away from them now. I know from a commercial sense, putting Call of Duty on there, arguably their biggest franchise that they have on there, isn't going to raise the number from 30 million, allegedly 30 million subscribers to 100 million in order to make this sustainable. Game Pass has never been sustainable. It's only catching up to them now because the bean counters at Microsoft are looking over and say, well, how much money are you actually making? And these are important questions to be asking, but they also have the power to say, well, yeah, you're not doing that anymore.
That's the thing about it. It's Phil's thing. Obviously, it's like day one, day and date, and everything like that. For me, that Microsoft is telling them no, and I don't. And I think by the end, day one, when it comes to exclusives, will stop. And Game Pass for me, like I know what you're saying, Amy. For me, the genie's already out of the bottle when it comes to Game Pass. I think it's done. It's done. I think Microsoft are just like, you're not making enough money for us. You've just spent, like you said, Vitz, almost 80 billion overall with all the studios that they bought, the 2 publishers and all those studios. That's a lot of money. They want the money back in a faster way than what
So
Phil
I've been
spent.
thinking. No. I'm not. This isn't me having a go at you. This is something I've been thinking about with the number, $80 billion, and like they want to make the money $80 billion back, and it's like, how many billion-dollar games have you ever heard of? Like, they're not making that money back.
Yeah.
For decades.
Yes.
I don't think. Before like that deal starts becoming profitable. It's not that I was having to go at your point. It's just something that I was thinking about a while this week.
But that's the thing about it. For them, probably putting Call of Duty on Game Pass will slow that even down even more. For them,
I agree with what you're saying.
CEOs and corporates, all that, we all know they think short term, not long term. Yeah. For us, we would probably say, yes, put it on Game Pass. It'll be the best thing long term for you because you got it on everything else still. It's going to be on probably the Nintendo Switch 2 when it comes out, on PlayStation for the next 10 years, on all these PCs and where streaming sites or whatever the hell deals that Phil Spencer's worked his ass off to get done for them. And now they're literally saying, nah, it's not good enough. We need it. We need our money back earlier, and that's basically how it is. But I'm not agreeing with it. But that's the thing about it. It's just like I've been very in and out when it comes to Xbox, but also Game Pass in general because I haven't really been touching it. And it's just like for me, and when the numbers haven't really been shown going up in any sustainable way, and it is at the end of the day, we've talked about multiple things of like sustainability, not just in fucking the world and everything that we wanted, but also in the industry. It's not Game Pass. I don't think is sustainable. And that's why I think they've just decided we're going to bow out of it. We're going to keep it around probably, but we're not going to be day one when it comes to this anytime. I don't know when that's going to be announced. It's not going to be June. I'll be very surprised if it's June. If that would be fucking crazy if they came out and said that in June. Yeah, I'll be like, oh, Phil Spencer, you poor bastard, because you're going to an interview right after this. You are going to be absolutely smacked so hard in the face by everyone watching that, listening to you.
Yeah, like like the numbers aren't adding up in my head, and like the strategy, and then I don't think they got one. I don't think they have a strategy at this point. I think it's just make money in the short term, and I think that's a bad strategy. I don't like I've said, corporations will fuck themselves in the long term to make a slight extra bit of money in the short term, and I think this is really gonna harm Xbox. Like what they're doing right now, all of the stuff they're fucking around with right now is really going to hurt them in like 5-10 years. They're really going to feel the pain from this. As far as the Sarah Bond interview goes, like the first words out of her mouth being about like how like, well, growth is flat, big chart behind her that says like Xbox has grown like 50% year on year, from 0 to 50% or whatever. But like all of this has been happening at the same time that the cost associated with making these beautiful AAA blockbuster games is going up, and the time it takes to make them is going up. Whose fault is that? Like, whose fault is that?
Yeah,
like,
it's not ours.
What are the biggest games of 2024 so far? Helldivers, Balatro.
Yeah.
Like, these games do not take 7 years to make and cost hundreds of millions of dollars to make. Like, it's a fallacy to think that you have to make a game look like fucking The Last of Us Part 2 or Red Dead Redemption 2 or like Final Fantasy 7 or whatever. And like, that has to be like that. It doesn't. People just want good games. And if you make good games, more people will buy them.
Yeah.
And like I know that's
Or
like,
you can
that's
have-
too simplified. It's like, no, that is the rubric. The best-selling game of all time is Minecraft.
Yes.
So I just had a look at like just the metric of when was Helldivers 1 and when was Helldivers 2. Obviously, Helldivers 2 was this year. Helldivers 1 actually didn't come out until 2015.
Yeah, it was quite early. I remember playing
But
it
they
on
they
PlayStation
could have
VR.
done it. They could have done another game between then.
did,
Which
didn't
I'm
they?
going to have a look at now.
Just to touch on the Minecraft points, there's another meme that was going around saying, in 1904, we banned children from working in the mines. And Minecraft is like the most popular game ever. The children yearn for the mines.
Funny meme. But no, it's. I mean, that's my point. It's just like Baldur's Gate 3. You know, it's a huge, massive, complicated game, and Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom is a huge, complex technical achievement. But like, neither of them look like fucking Hellblade. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely. And there's economies of scale there as well, in terms of Tears of the Kingdom was built on a lot of the bones that Breath of the Wild was. You don't have to throw everything out and start again with a brand new engine every single time.
yeah, like it's not to say the way that Xbox is currently approaching creating its marquee titles is what is unsustainable, not game development in general. Again, Balatro, one of the biggest games of the year. It's got about 7 pixels on the screen, and it's fucking poker cards. Sorry,
That's true. Like, yeah, no, I'm butting on you. I apologize for that. Just going back to the Helldivers thing. I guess really depends on when did they start developing on that of the sequel at the end of the day, because obviously the first one came out in 2015.
What?
The sequel came out in 2025. Fucking hell, that was a quick turnaround. Yeah, screw you, Sarah Bomb. We're getting a sequel out in a year.
Really breathing that smoke from that fire.
It took them what? That's 9 years to get Helldivers 2
It's also,
But
can I
obviously
just point out, the fastest selling PlayStation game.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Turns out if you make a fun game, they will come.
That's the thing
And put it
about
on multiple systems. 100%.
And put it on PC, yeah. That helps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's gonna
a
be
random
very
question,
interesting.
just to bring it back to Microsoft. So, if the edict comes down from Microsoft top brass to say, okay, Operation Latitude is a go. We are bringing everything to everything. How quickly do you reckon they move? Is it like Indiana Jones that arrives on a PlayStation? Do you reckon there's like 12-month exclusivity window with
Like Bill
Microsoft
Murray
systems
and
before it
Groundhog
arrives
Day.
somewhere else?
Someone's going to mention Starfield any minute now.
I will.
How quickly do you see that shift happening?
It depends on how far what they've already got done. So obviously they've got 4 games already going over that are already over into PS5 and everything. I guess really depends on how long. Theoretically, a year, potentially. It already depends how much. Like they would need the dev kits. They would already have dev kits at all these other studios that they would have done the 4 games, like Rare and everything. Sorting it out to get the cert pass and everything. A year.
Yeah.
Depending on the game. Hellblade,
So a year to 2 years, that kind of window.
Yeah. Yeah, it depends on really how fast they can really get this moving and everything like that.
Sure.
Like we already know, like, sorry, I'm gonna have to mention it. Starfield was
There it
getting
is.
made in PS5 before
was.
the Xbox bought. So
Now
there's
someone's
probably
going to...
potentially a build. There's a build out there probably that has PS5 all terminology and everything already on it.
Next, someone's going to mention Halo. Wow, I have been here before.
But no, I think
Where's
the next one
Xbox Sarah?
I think the next one is Hellblade. I think Hellblade's going to be PS5 this year.
Interesting.
I
Yeah,
think
because
the tea leaves are already out there for it because they've barely been talking about the game. Everyone's now seriously worried about Ninja Theory with what happened last week, and it's like,
and the original was on
no.
PlayStation, right? As well.
this one, yeah, it was exclusive to
It was
PlayStation.
exclusive to PlayStation.
There you go.
But
And it was on
PlayStation
PC
should have
as well,
thought.
but...
Yes.
PlayStation could have bought Ninja Theories. I think Ninja Theory actually asked them, or they were in talks or something like that, and PlayStation backed out. Then Microsoft gobbled them up and everything.
Oh no!
If they get closed by Microsoft, they'll be fucking. We should have gone. We should have gone to PlayStation, or should have stayed independent. But I don't know if they. Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, for me, Hellblade's going to be the next one, I think.
Amy, how would you like to cleanse your palate?
Pentiment won a Peabody
Stick with
Award.
Xbox.
They so did.
Stick with Xbox. And go
I
with that.
assume now that it's won an award, Microsoft will close the studio.
Oh yeah, of
Probably,
course.
yes.
So this is.
I've been thinking of that joke for 2 hours. It's about time you got to this story.
So this is a story via Variety that Pentiment and We Are OFK wins Peabody Awards for interactive and immersive entertainment.
Star Trek, just to like divert from video games for 1 second, like Star Trek won like a massive Peabody Award for like the whole series. Anyway, video games. Pentiment's great. Like, what a fucking game that game is. I'm so happy it won a Peabody.
We are OFK as well. Just want to say that.
Yeah, and we are OFK. You forced me to play that. I remember, and I enjoyed it. I don't want to say you forced me to play it. I didn't enjoy it.
Was it the best force ever? That text I sent you. This dialogue is amazing.
He sent me one screenshot, and I was like, "I'm in."
She was. She's like, just the eyes emoji,
and I'm true to my word. I was in. But yeah, no, like 2 awesome games. Like if you're sleeping on Pentiment, you really need to not sleep on Pentiment. It's incredible experience.
And no, Microsoft, who knows how long the studio's got to live? So
I assume once they've released Avowed, and then they turn around and go, so our next game is going to take like 5 years to make. They're going to go 5 years. Poof, that doesn't sound like 12 months. Get out of here.
First, Avowed has
money
to win,
now.
like,
Give
many awards.
Sorry,
so
Avowed has to win a BAFTA.
win awards first, then they get close.
But yeah, no, like these are 2 great games. You should go and check them out. They're like the Peabody Awards are a really prestigious award for storytelling, and the fact that these 2 video games won it speaks to their quality in that arena. And yeah, they've been played by people on this podcast, and we say they're both mint great, amazing games. So do it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Video games are awesome.
They are awesome.
Corporations are not.
They are not. No. Let's close this podcast out, though. Let me just scroll all the way down to the bottom. There we go. I need to put a link for this at the top of the thing.
You really do. You really do. Yeah.
I feel like my Chromebook is like too slow to scroll quickly. But it's time for OpenCritic Head-To-Head. This is the game we play every week where I try to guess the OpenCritic average of upcoming games. Whoever guesses closest to the score gets a point. If you manage to guess the score correctly, you get 2 points. But really, it's just an excuse to talk about video games. Last week, we tried to guess the OpenCritic average of 3 upcoming games. The first one, Snowbike Mike's new favorite game, from what I hear. It's Homeworld 3. Homeworld 3. Yeah, he loves it, apparently. I guessed it would get an 80. Moody guessed it would get an 85. Fitz guessed it would get an 86. At the time of recording, Homeworld 3 has an OpenCritic average of 80, which means I guessed it completely correctly.
GG's.
2 points for Amy.
Well done.
On the OpenCritic page, it says IGN and IGN. No, but no Italian or Spanish or anything like that. Just IGN.
IGN is IGN.
IGN, take one of those bastards out. It might lower it under 80, so Amy doesn't get 2 points.
It's too late. It's done. Someone got this on Fantasy Critics, not me.
No, it's not me. I don't think anyone actually has.
No,
it.
someone got it. Yeah, I think it might have been one of the automatic pickups. Let's just say I'm a lot happier with Fantasy Critic this week than I was 2 weeks ago.
Elf has.
The next game we tried to guess the OpenCritic average of was Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. A lot of people, there's some people on this podcast talking about the amount of juice that this game has. I guessed it would get an 88. Moody guessed it would get an 85. Fitzy guessed it would get an 89. At the time of recording, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes has an OpenCritic average of 87.
Dang it.
Correction.
Huh?
So when I click on the game, it says 88.
I mean, look.
Yay for you.
No, I'm gonna say that the new rule was when we start recording.
Oh, as the time recording.
Yeah, because I'm
we don't-
sick of
we don't mess
updating
around
this
anymore.
thing mid podcast. So I will take a point, not two. But thank you for that. Yeah.
Unlike the homepage, it says 87.
Yeah,
but if you click on the
OpenCritic's
game, it says
homepage
88.
is weird. You always go off what it says on the actual page is always the one. But yeah, no, I checked it before we recorded. I put the numbers in. Like I said it last week, 2 weeks ago, whenever it was. It's like once we start recording, I don't care what it changes to. And I have integrity. As much as I would take that extra point. I'm not taking that extra point. But I am going to take this game because this game looks amazing.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to playing it. It might be a little while because, you have to spend money to play video games. Fucking bullshit.
How many reviews do you need to get on this? It's 4 in it to get a score.
4 to get a score, yeah.
All right. Baldur's is 2 away.
Yeah, Paladins doesn't have a score. I guess to get an 80,
I like-
you guess to get an
I like-
82, Vince
I
gets to
like
get
it.
an 81.
One of them is 8.5 out of 10. The other one liked a lot.
You know what? I respect liked a lot more than I respect 8.5 out of 10. It's like
I
commit
love
to the
that.
10. Commit to the 10-point scale, you cowards. Don't put 0.5s in there. 0.5s are for wimps.
They
Yeah,
sure
kind
are.
of funny.
Yeah, kind of funny. And everybody else who does it, IGN, we have fucking 100 point. Do they still have a 100-point scale?
No, that
I think it might be 20. Yeah.
Okay, well,
But that's
still
just a 10-point scale. They do 1 to 10.
don't do fucking scales at all. Just tell me what you think of the damn game. Like, I remember tuning in one, and I'm dragging Kind of Funny. I don't hate Kind of Funny, but I remember tuning into a review once. This was when they were doing their 5 out of 5s.
Yep.
And I was watching it, but I wasn't really watching it. It was like background noise. And they were reviewing some game, and I don't remember what it was. And like my brain consciously tuned back into the podcast, and they were having this fucking conversation that like, and it was like, but they were just having this conversation, but they were just saying numbers over and over again, and it was like, well, my heart says it's a 2, but my head says it's a 3, and they're like, oh, but I feel like it could have been a 4, and I was like listening to this part of the conversation, just going, guys, this is incomprehensible. Stop.
Yep.
Say words, not numbers, please. This is just one of the many reasons I don't like review scores. Sorry.
That's why we don't do them here.
Yeah. Diatribe is over. Yeah, we did them for a bit. We brought them back because Moody wanted to do them. And then Moody got sick of them real quick, and then we stopped. It was when some people started arguing over like some big game had come out.
Scores, yeah.
And it was like,
yeah, I
well,
don't know what game
objectively,
it was.
it's at least an 8. And if you're lying, if you say it's a 7, and Moody just was reading all this discourse about some game, he just went, fuck this shit.
Yes.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I think that's basically what it was. Yeah. It's like, fuck it, I can't be bothered with this shit. No way.
Oh man,
It's
when
like, we say we like it. There, that's all. That's good enough. Fuck off.
yeah, no, you just like listen to the words. Like I was in that situation when I did that Neo review on a podcast, and when we were doing scores, you weren't here, Dan Moody, and we were doing scores, and like I talked for 25 minutes about Neo and why I thought it was amazing, and like everything about the game, and I was very clear that it was a Souls-like. It was a challenging RPG, like difficult game. And then at the end, obviously, I said I loved it. It's 10 out of 10. That was my review of it back in 2017. Like, I remember like Zelda, something was coming out, something big was coming out, and I was like, I couldn't stop playing Neo. That's how good it was. And then like Keith went out and he got his PS4 he was buying a PS4 specifically because he wanted to play Persona 5, but it came with a free game, and like he had a choice between a few games. One of them was Horizon, and another one was Neo. And he was like, "I bought Neo," and I was like, "Why why did you buy Neo when you could have had Horizon?" And, well, you gave it a 10 out of 10. I went, "But did you not listen to it because he hates challenging games?" And full respect to him, like it's his prerogative to not want to play games that are like difficult. And then I got a text off him, and he was like, "I don't like it." And I was like, "I know, I don't understand why you bought it. Did you not listen to the 20 minutes of talking before I said 10 out of 10?" And then turned out he didn't like Horizon either, so it's just not pleasing him. He loved Persona though, so that's good.
Persona's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. But yeah, sorry, that's mine and Moody's little diatribe about review scores.
What are we guessing this week, Amy?
3 games. We're guessing 3 games this week. The first one and most obvious one.
Before we go to that, I just wanted to reiterate this. So, Amy, Moody has already had this game won since February. Oh, you're only 2 points behind now, aren't you?
Uh-huh. And?
Fight me.
That's still a lead.
I've got to catch you, overtake you, and stay ahead of you. It's not happening.
As the late great Murray Walker once said, catching is one thing, passing is another.
Once you start, fucking taking this game seriously again and actually using your brain.
You think I haven't been taking it serious? Are you seriously fucking kidding me?
Start actually thinking about the numbers that you're saying instead of just throwing out whatever fucking random number generator pops up in your head.
Hey, don't bag on my style.
No, you're fine, Vitz. I'm trying to go.
I'm joking.
I'm just trying to wind him up. It's working. So anyway,
this week
we're trying to first game. We're trying to guess the OpenCritic average. Senua's Saga Hellblade 2.
Okay, so
And
the
Vitz is
actors want
first,
me
yeah.
to go first. I think this game is gonna get a 76.
You just copied Duck Detective: The Secret Salami. I just saw that happen in front of my. I talked about this game on Steam Next Fest. Yeah, so 76, did you say?
Yes, please.
The Hellblade 2. Amy is going to guess 87.
Damn.
Hey man, Hellblade 1, incredible. Xbox era thinks there's like a conspiracy against Xbox games. There's not. Moody, Hellblade, Senua's Saga 2. That was definitely the right order. All of those words are going.
Yep.
What do you think? Damn, I must have really got to him. He's really thinking about this. It probably hurts him even more. No, that I don't put any thought into the numbers that I'm playing.
The only thought you put into is whether I can go 69 in this game or not.
Why not? Live your dream.
86.
Next up. Yeah. Is anyone going to play this? Because I don't have Game Pass anymore, so I'm probably not going to play it.
I'm not going to play this, no.
I want to. I do want to. There's no doubt. I don't know when, though. But I will.
Cool. Yeah, I got a lot of indies queued up that... I don't know if you know this, but like 12 indie games released on the same day last week.
There was kiddies in big cities and all
It
sorts.
was fucking chaos. Next up, we've got Duck Detective: The Secret Salami. I don't think this was a former indie game of the week, but I definitely remember talking about it from Next Fest the last time we did Next Fest.
I would like to give my prediction of an 80, please.
8-0. Duck Detective: The Secret Salami. Grizzled
Great name.
duck in a cartoon, but also a noir. Talking about how he's got to kick his bread addiction. It's very funny. Very funny demo.
It just reminded me of the news that Nicolas Cage has been signed by Amazon to make a live-action version of his character as like Spider-Man Noir from Into the Spider-Verse.
What a fascinating
Which is going to be a
idea.
thing.
78 for me on this one.
Mr. Moody.
Quack, quack.
75.
75. Moody hates indie games confirmed.
Facts.
How many times have I made that joke on this podcast, do you think? Got to at least be 20.
Probably.
Lastly,
Greg Miller says they're only 11-man team.
I wish I had 11
Says it
people.
every episode these days. It's getting really annoying.
If I had 11 people on this team, my Mass Effect video would be done. It's getting longer, guys. I added an extra chapter. I had to split one chapter into 2 chapters because the one chapter was like getting way out too long, and I was like, you know what? I gotta split this fucker up. Anyway, Haunty.
Yeah. So, I'm going to look this one up because I haven't got the foggiest what this game's about.
Day of the Devs game last year, I think.
Wow, the art style looks amazing.
Yeah.
I would like to go for an.
Google has the release date as October last year. Google. Remember when search engines worked?
The days before AI. 80, please.
80.
Yeah.
80 for Haunty. Yeah, I remember seeing this. I think it was Day of the Devs last year. Definitely piqued my interest.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Is it a puzzle game? Is it a puzzle game or is it an adventure game?
One or both.
Because that's going to affect what I say. Puzzle games tend to trend higher on OpenCritic than adventure games tend to trend lower. I've noticed. Remember when that fucking
Haunty is a beguiling adventure in which you uncover the secrets of an expensive and mysterious world, haunting both the environments and densities to craft egregious solutions
I've got
to many challenges that await. So I think it's like a bit of both.
It looks like a puzzle game.
Yeah,
which means it's going to get a high score. Remember when that Donut game came out and it was like one of the best fucking reviewed games on OpenCritic that year? Because like 7 people reviewed it and they all love puzzle games. I actually bought that. I haven't ever played it, but I've got it on Switch. Like it was on sale and I was like, everyone loved this donut game. But then I was like, if I play it, I'm probably going to end up eating too many donuts. This game looks awesome. I'm going to go 83. Fuck it. No, wait, I'm going to go 82.
85!
I'm going to go 82. Because then if it gets 81, we can pull draws further ahead of Fitz.
83!
83. Cool. That's it. We're good.
Hell yeah.
We're done. It's over.
No doubt, this haunting looks amazing.
It does look amazing. It's definitely going to be on the pile. I don't know if I told anyone this. Actually, no, we haven't got time. I'll tell you off podcast. Moody, take us out of the podcast, please. I thought I heard a bang. It's like I'm on my own, so that was kind of concerning. Probably the neighbors, hopefully.
What up, everybody? Don't worry if Amy's getting murdered right now, because you made it. Another day is behind
She might not.
you. Another week has passed. We are all proud of you. You are special. You deserve the absolute best, and you are truly good enough. You're doing great. We believe in you. Live long and prosper. High five to Sky. Fuck the Tories.
Let's get out of here. Woo, bye.
Bye.
Bye.